Africa TV Breakup Studio Live 2020 GSL Season Code S Showdown.
What is up, everybody? We are here for another day of the GSL Code S. This is Group B of the round of 16.
Yeah, and what a group it is. I am so stoked for tonight. How have you been, Tasteless?
Today, Artosis. It's early time for Tasteless. It's Saturday at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. It's almost my bedtime, bro.
We are truly the yin and yang of sleep schedules, Artosis.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be just a fantastic day today. Already we've had so many crazy games, so many crazy upsets as well. Wednesday, unfortunate to see Scarlet get eliminated.
Yeah, it was a pretty good group overall, especially the
Yeah.
first couple series, and Scarlet did bust out some pretty good strats, but at the end of the day, unable to make it all come together for a round of 8.
Yeah, it was. It's too bad. She looked very strong. Again, I'm saying the takeaway really was like how well that Tasia and Scarlet played. The usual suspects managed to advance, but
well, that was in particular the Tasia match against Dark was it was one of my favorite series. Like probably of the year, it was my favorite series so far.
And we're now at a point in time in StarCraft 2 where some players have done their military service and have come back. And we're seeing that they are viable still as pros.
They are viable.
They are viable.
They're still viable.
They are not obsolete.
You're basically pure evil. You're like,
what?
They come back from the military. They're still viable. I'm like, okay, good. We don't have to throw them into the volcano.
Dude, some of them are not viable and do need to be thrown into the volcano. Okay, we've definitely cast some pro matches like that.
A few of them.
But look, this is exciting. There was a big... I don't want to say stigma, but a lot of people were basically saying that nobody could compete in StarCraft post-military service.
That was the case
this was
for so long.
A big thing about 12 years ago, people were talking about this.
Yeah.
But it seems like now in StarCraft 2, you can have players come back and do well. We're going to have a quick video for you guys, then we're going to go into our matches.
계속하고 있었는데 다 뺏겼죠?
네네네. 일단 프로토스 선수 제외하고
네.
테란 저그 중에서 의견을 좀 어필하는 선수들한테 좀 적극 반영을 할 생각입니다.
네.
나쁘진 않은데 뭔가 첫 번째 줄에 뽑힌다는 게 좀 자존심이 상하네요.
아 자존심이 상해서. 자 그러면 이제 김도욱 선수도 테란 대 테란전 경기 충분히 할만하잖아요. 전태양조에 들어가서.
태양이가 태태전이 워낙 수준급이라서 굳이 하고 싶진 않아요. 민수가 네. 맛있어 보이긴.
예, 맛있어 보여요.
오! 이번에 슈터 때 저한테 숨을 못 쉬었던 것 같은데
오!
이렇게 맛집이라고 표현하니까 좀 기분이 나쁘네요. 네.
우와, 두발.
강민수 선수에게 좀 물어볼게요. 뽑아준다고 하면 제 의견을 확실히 받아줄 의향이 있는지.
아 제가 왜 적극적이어야 되죠? 좀 어이없네요. 네.
내 맘이지. 이 맘이야?
전혀 협조를 해주지 않을
네. 전태양 진거 같은데요 지금 조지명 씨.
아니요 뭐 게임에서 이기면 되죠.
나 뽑아봐라. 와 진짜. 와 이거 진검 승부다 이거 라이벌전.
이건 자존심 대결이죠.
조성주 선수 조에 안 가게 돼서 너무 기쁘고요. 그리고 그래도 여기 있는 테란 선수들 중에 저는 개인적으로 전태양 선수가 그나마 제일 할 만한 것 같아서 네, 괜찮은 것 같아요.
자 강민수 선수는 지금 전태양 선수와 좀 이야기 좀 나눴어요. 거의 말 안 하는 것 같은데 둘이?
영호 형이 백동주 선수를 지금 너무 노리는 것 같아가지고 제가 함부로 못 뽑겠어가지고 지금 너무 어려워요 진짜. 한 명씩 다 의견을 좀 들어.
네 한번 들어보겠습니다. 자 그럼요. 그룹 B로 들어갈 수 있는 그 기회.
우리 친한 태양이와 우리 민수가 있기 때문에 별로
별로
들어가기가 싫네요.
들어가기 너무 싫고.
표현부터 달라요.
네. 우리예요.
뭐 대엽이 형이 뭐 우리라고 했는데 뭐 팀도 다른데 뭐 우리는 개뿔. 네. 그냥 저기 대엽이 형 뽑고 저는 려무가 아마 데려갈 것 같아요.
모르겠습니다. 그냥 마음 가는 대로 할게요.
마음 가는 대로.
A조 눈치를 볼 거냐는데요.
백동준 데려가면은 박영우 선수가 무섭고 아니면 다른 선수를 데려가자니 좀 어려울 수 있고 최종 강민수 선택은요? 선택.
어차피
대박.
다른 선택지도 있다고 들었으니까
네.
안 건드릴 가능성도 있잖아요.
네.
아니 역시 돌이라서 그런지 약간 생각을 좀 잘못하네요.
아 생각을 해.
나를 건드리면 안 됐다.
어차피 저는 A조 갈 건데 뭐하러 뭐 선택권을 날렸는지.
백동준 선수의 선택의 시간이 왔습니다. 백동준 선수의 그 운명이 좀 어떻게 바뀔지 모르는 상황이거든요.
네, 동준이가 저를
어.
위한다면 좀 안 뽑아줬으면 좋겠어요.
안 뽑아주면 그래서 어디서 시조 노리는 거고요.
그래도 뭐
예.
남잔데
어.
도박 한번 해봐야죠.
와! 자 뽑아주면 좋겠다. 자 그러면은 몰라요. 이거 어떻게 될지
말
몰라요.
들어보면 박명수 입장에서 다른 경우가
네.
또 궁금해질 수 있거든요.
그렇죠. 자 그럼 준비한 대로 와 됐어요. 이렇게. 와 저 어윤수는 자동으로 시조 도박.
워낙 쉬운 선수들이 없어서 좀 보통조에 들어간 것 같아요.
아 보통조다.
그러니까 4명 다 서로 할 만한 것 같은
예.
나쁘지 않습니다.
근데 아직 안 바뀌었잖아요. 한
그렇죠.
명이 바뀔 수도 있잖아요.
학교도 괜찮나요? 분위기가?
어떤 선수가 오느냐에 따라 좀 다를 것 같아요.
네, 근데 누가 올 것 같은 느낌 안 드나요? 지금 A조를 봤을 때.
근데 대호병이 오면은 좀 까다로울 것 같긴 한데 그래도 토스가 한 명이면은 저도 괜찮을 것 같습니다. 전략으로 승부하면 되기 때문에.
이야, 알겠습니다. 자, 이제 모든 결정은 박영우 선수가 하게 됩니다. 김대엽 선수를 어디다 드랍할 것인지 아니면 그냥 둘 것인지 그 모든 것들이 달려 있거든요.
지금도 괜찮다고 하더라고요.
좋다고?
그런데 저는 비조까지 좀 생각하고 있어가지고
비조.
8강까지 생각한다면 이대로 가는 게 괜찮은 것 같아요.
8강까지 생각했어?
아주 탁월한 선택이에요. 솔직히 제가 요즘에 령호 만나서 령호한테 맨날 다졌거든요.
네.
그래가지고 딱 령호가 1등 진출, 제가 2등
2등 진출.
와.
와.
그래서 동준이 형이 약간 너무 삐지시려고 하는 것 같은데 한번 얘기를 마지막으로 들어보고.
얘기.
저는 영호만 믿고 여기 왔거든요. 그래서 저는 민수가 돌인 줄 알았는데 지금 제가 돌이에요. 지금.
자, 박영우의 선택은요. 누군가요? 누군가요? 잠깐만, 제가 어떻게 바꿔요? 진짜 바꿔. 백동준이랑 옆으로 좀 보내버렸습니다.
나는 속이지 않겠다.
그룹 B의 선수들은 좀 아직 끔찍한 상황으로 경기가 좀 이어졌고 백동준과 스칼렛은 미소를 지으면서 여기서 박영우 선수에게 인사를 하고 있어요. 많은 이슈가 있었던 조지명식 과연 선수들이 어떤 명경기를 펼치게 될지 함께 지켜보도록 하겠습니다.
라운드 오브 16 TY 전태양 솔라 강민수 스태츠 김대영 큐어 김도우.
So today's group is pretty badass. This is also one where it can go in a lot of different directions here.
Yeah. All four of these players truly can advance from this group.
Do you have two that you're looking at right now?
I always look to TY.
Yeah, I think TY is a very safe bet.
Yeah, I think that TY, I am feeling. I think if Kier plays up to how he's been playing online, it could be TY Kier today. But I really could see anyone coming out. It just kind of matters how they play today, and that sounds like, well, doesn't it always matter how they play on the day? Well, yeah, to some extent, but like, I feel like Stats, Solar, and Kier right now are all a little bit up and down. I guess even TY from Super Tournament wasn't like the most fantastic, right?
That is true.
And the thing is, TY is probably the most consistent player along with like Maru. Where
Terrence,
yeah, he's like for instance, what is it? He's been to like 80% of his code S's go to the round of 8 or something like that. I forget exactly what the stat is, but it's insane. Like he always gets far because he's just smarter and better than everyone. So I always feel like he'll advance.
He's the most composed player I've ever seen.
It feels that way a lot,
He
doesn't
seems
it?
very collected, very focused but relaxed. Now, let's see what Solar's going to do this time around here. Another player I'm thinking about in this group especially is just to see how Stats will play. Stats tends to be on the opposite spectrum of cheesy aggro Protoss players. He tends to really want to just get ready for what you're doing, get ahead of you, win in a control game. But yeah, Solar versus TY in this match. I think TY is slightly favored.
I do too.
I think Solar can win, and if he does, we shouldn't be completely shocked.
No,
like it's very realistic that he could win. I just think TY is slightly, I guess, has a little bit of an edge.
Last I checked, I believe Solar actually has like a higher MMR on Korea than TY. But that being said, I think, oh my God, Golden Wall is set too. That's so exciting.
Cool.
But I think that you're right that TY has a little bit of an edge, and I think that has to do with the styles that they generally bring. TY brings a very broad strategic style where he's going to outplay you and outmaneuver you the longer the game goes.
Yeah.
And Solar, I always name as like a cognitive Zerg. I don't think he has the brute force to kill TY before we get into the end game. I think what he normally does is he outthinks and outplays people during the game.
Yeah.
But against TY, I think that is you're running into a brick wall made out of brains.
But it's strong as bricks.
Yeah.
Game 1 is ready. Let's start Group B on the map Evergreen.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고.
Okay. 2 SCVs sent out, so this is going to be double barracks here. And that is just below the Overlord Scout path, correct?
Yep.
It's crazy to me how good StarCraft 2 players have become at just skirting the line on how close you can hide something almost in plain sight.
Well, it's funny because it's like a meta. I almost feel like, oh my God, it's a third
3.
one.
Okay.
So, and a fourth.
4th.
Okay, so well, this is
the never before seen 5th SCV comes down. We're like, this isn't a strategy. You have to keep some of those at home.
Yeah. I almost feel like if you are, look at how close their series is. That's actually amazing. But again, I almost feel as if you are going to be playing against a top tier Terran in a tournament, you should actually throw whatever scout pattern you think is out the window and just scout in a stupid direction with your Overlord, because that's where they hide the racks. He's gonna float them in!
Strats from 1998.
I can't even believe this, Tasteless.
This is so funny. This is one of the first things that...
There was a drone out looking too, by the way.
Yeah. This is one of the very, very first strategies ever in StarCraft, was Terrans floating a building into the corner of your base. A barracks, or usually a factory if it was in StarCraft 1 in the early days. But, you know, we haven't really seen this in a long time, and, you know, this is just going to work.
I just can't even believe what I'm looking at here, man. Oh my God, he's making his third base right away. He sees the scout timing. He's kind of like snuck that in. Okay, that Marine might be
strapped, right? No, he can go to the bottom.
It does actually fit. Okay.
Of course he knows how to do this perfectly. All right, Artosis, you know, sometimes we look at the screens, the in-game screen, but I think for now we should watch for Solar's face.
I can't believe this is how he's going to kill him. Like, what a way to lose game 1.
So much for your practice, man.
Watch, the Lings are going to go out to, like, move that. Watch his face. Watch Solar's face.
Okay, here we go.
Guys.
We're getting close.
Okay, well,
we don't have their
screen.
face on camera, though, here. All right,
we will
we'll be here to describe
it.
Yeah.
Come on, TY, go. TY is, like, really waiting to...
Okay.
No, not much change.
Yeah, not much of a reaction.
I can see him micro and his camera's wiggling more.
Yeah. I can feel the anger being pushed deep down inside. And, I mean, this is just enough damage right away. I don't know.
Oh, you don't even need bunkers with this.
No, yeah. Look, you can center set micro all the way back to where you're reinforcing from your 4 barracks.
Yeah.
And now there's not enough. And again, this is 4 Marines at a time being made here. Hatchery at half health. The second Queen's going to come out. You know, there's no way to heal these Marines, but I think the amount that's coming out here is just so much.
Yeah.
A transfuse isn't going to do much but, you know, buy you a few seconds, I think, of fighting time here as a Zerg.
I love that he sacrificed that there so the Broodlings wouldn't get him. And now he's just going to attack forward. Speed finishes up, but does it matter? He's already killed the main hatch.
Yeah, this is funny because the pool is also in the main. So he can end up killing that off, which means every lane you see is all that you're going to get this game.
Yeah. Well, this is
Oh
pretty
my
much
God.
over. You see the look on Solar's face.
GG.
He literally just floated 4 axes in. I can't believe that's
Now-
what his strategy was. I guess if it doesn't get scouted, it's like, yeah, there's,
There is this, we talked about ELO hell, right? Where you're playing at a certain rank where people are doing weird strats that can work. And if you haven't encountered them once or twice before, you might not know how to stop them.
Yeah.
And part of being a pro is knowing how to stop every single strategy.
Yep.
But that's not one we normally see used. I mean, if you can spot that early enough and stop it, Terran loses. But I think TUI having a very good understanding of where Solar's mind is and how he's approaching the game, that was one of the few rare strategies that Solar basically was not counting on.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we've seen Party win with these crazy cannon rushes, which are now becoming predictable. I think that was really one of the most unpredictable things TY could have done.
For sure.
That's an
That
example
for
of
sure.
well planned against a player who's normally very good at planning. We're going to go to Golden Wall for map number 2. Let's see what happens.
전투 준비 완료. TY 전태양. 트라이엄펀트 송 게이밍 솔라 강민수.
Solar preps so well for his series and so well for his opponents. It's pretty crazy to see TY come out with a build so decisive that
Well,
it just ends the game.
There was definitely gambling going on there.
Yeah.
If that gets scouted, I don't think it's going to work.
No, for sure no. Well, I thought when we saw the first 2 SCVs sent out, I thought, okay, 2 barracks proxy.
Standard, easy,
Yeah,
whatever.
this is actually pretty par for the course in this matchup. And then the third and then the fourth, it's like, oh man, wow.
Then they lift off.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
go
what?
into the main, just out of scouting range. Really cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, congrats to TY. He definitely had a good plan for that game. Now he's up a map, Golden Wall. We don't get to see this too often. We have seen some pretty epic TVZs here when we do get to see the map. So I'm excited to see what types of styles they both want to use. Remember, I believe it was Kira actually just went like pure Marine here, Marine medevac.
Right.
And was able to eventually beat his opponent. Who was that, Zerg? Can't recall who that was.
On this map, there's basically 2 platforms. There's the upper 2/3 and the lower 1/3. And those locations are cut, or I should say divided between the gold minerals. So you can expand on the gold minerals on the lower part or on the upper part, depending on how you want to play it. But you're at risk of being hit from the other side. We've seen games where Terrans have Zerg control one side, usually the top side here, and Terrans will still push through the bottom and win.
Yeah.
So this map is very unique, and I think especially in TVZ it makes for some pretty interesting games.
So far, it definitely has. Like, I really liked the way that we've seen it, where you just kind of wall off your natural really heavily, and then expand behind yourself and push through the back. I have quite liked that style for Terran vs. Zerg. But I think the map is definitely not solved, and I'm sure TY put a lot of thought into what to do. And again, it is my opinion that he's the smartest StarCraft 2 player. Like, just gets the game to such a level.
I think him, SOS, and
well, I think SOS is like
well, SOS
if
is
you're
a
really
prodigy.
smart, but also a little bit crazy about it, you know?
Yeah, well, he seems to know, I think, circumstantially.
He's like Picasso or something.
There's something about the way SOS plays where he'll get the game into such a bizarre situation and have the exact solution for it.
Yeah, when he plays, it's like he's hearing colors and seeing sounds.
Yeah.
I don't even...
It's very abstract stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that the game that he played in this season where he made a nexus in the main where it's like, okay. By the way, Solar going to go for a very quick Nidus attack.
Yeah.
I saw the Roach Warren coming down. I thought, oh, maybe he's going to try to do some kind of Ling Roach attack at the start. Instead, it's going to be the Nidus. And this is actually an extraordinarily early Nidus. And keep in mind that you can expand in different directions on this map as a Zerg, so it's not clear entirely that the Zerg is lagging behind on expansions.
Well, there's actually a lot of Marines being made right now, so if TY can shut down the first Nidus, I feel like this game becomes, oh my god, there was one corner.
That's
one
so
corner
funny. Look at that.
okay.
That perfectly fits the Nidus.
Well, this could be difficult then. He does have Medivacs coming. He does have Stim on the way.
Yes.
So if he pulls all his SCVs, I mean, it's only 4 Queens, 9 Roaches. Like, this is doable with 15 Marines in your SCVs, right?
Let's
get those
see.
Medivacs out, you have Stim finish. It's only a 2-base Zerg on 30 drones. Like, this is... there's a chance here for sure that he holds this.
Okay,
Yeah,
Stimmy coming forward here. Wow, these Queens are getting killed so quickly that this it looks like it isn't even a strategy.
Yeah, I think he was looking to run into a more tech-heavy opener.
Yeah, this was
You know, like if this was like 3 commands off of Hellions or something. Well, now I guess we know why Solar got picked first, huh? Damn.
Yeah. That was like he ordered the win express delivery.
Yeah.
He's like, well, listen, sir, you can pay the minimum, and we'll have the package delivered in 2 weeks, or you can pay express, and it'll get there the same day. And he's like, I'll pay express, and the army was delivered right to the base, stimmed it down, GG. He must have thought there was going to be maybe like, well, no, he saw Stim was upgrading, so he should have.
Well, he definitely didn't think. My take is he probably thought it was going to be 3 commands and like tech, right? A lot of people go, for instance, reactored Hellions with 3 command centers in the matchup because it kind of gives you some safety, some map control, some harassment.
Sure, I mean a lot,
quick economy.
A lot do, yeah, but it's. I mean, that's what TY did is also completely normal. It seems like it was a specific all-in, designed blindly to counter something that the Terran just was not doing.
Yes, definitely.
I mean,
definitely that.
It seems like you would want to do that strategy once you had seen a third CC being made in the main, right? You can't just.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to like choose it before you see that. So it's kind of a real gamble, just like what TY did game 1.
It's funny too because we're watching it, and of course, from our perspective, we're thinking, okay, well, clearly there's something to this. Let's see how TY handles it, and then TY just comes down and stims and kills everything.
Yeah.
And as the second Nidus finishes, already everything from the first Nidus is dead. So he kills everything that comes out of the second Nidus, kills the Nidus, and then Solar leaves. Yeah. So sometimes you watch GSL and you want to steal builds. That's one that you know not to do. We'll be right back after the short break.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
라벨은 까먹으리라고 했는데 우리 아빠는 맨날 까먹어요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 취했나?
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
당신 뭐 핫식스 더킹 아세요?
핫식스 뭐요?
핫식스 더킹.
이거 정말로 맛있는데
제가 오늘 핫식스 더킹 먹을게면 당신은 저한테 피 빨릴 거예요. 아세요?
이런 악마의 음료 이걸 빠시다니.
그리고 핫식스 더킹 그 빨간 제품 있거든요. 열대 과일 맛이 나요. 열대 과일 맛.
자신 있으세요?
라벨 떼고 버려야 되는 건 알죠? 근데 귀찮아서 잘 안 해요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
안녕하세요, 문율입니다. 신종 코로나 바이러스로 아직은 불안한 하루하루를 보내고 계시죠? 많이 좋아졌다고는 하지만 바이러스 확산 위험이 아직 남아있는 만큼 코로나19 예방 및 감염 확산 방지를 위한 여러분의 노력과 동참이 필요한 상황입니다. 꼼꼼한 위생 습관은 필수. 외출 후 흐르는 물에 30초 이상 손 씻기. 몸은 멀리, 하지만 마음은 더욱 가깝게. 생활 속에서 실천하는 사회적 거리두기. 외출 시 마스크는 필수. 기침이 나온다면 옷소매로 가려주세요. 악수 대신 가벼운 인사로 반가움을 대신하기. 코로나 바이러스, 함께라면 이겨낼 수 있습니다. 다음번엔 경기장에서 만나요.
라운드 오브 16 TY 전태양, 솔라 강민수, 스태츠 김대영, 슈어 김도우. 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 코드 S 쇼다운.
Welcome back, everybody. We had a very short. There's not a lot to talk about with those first two games.
It was a truly terrible series.
Yeah, it was definitely a mismatch. I thought it was going to be closer, and it was not close in any way. I mean, strategically, TY in game one way ahead of Solar, better prepped, and then Solar came in with a strategy that he executed against something that would just hold it.
Yes.
So
yes,
we speculate that he probably was hoping that TY would have a third command center inside the main. That is somewhat common, just in TVZ in general, not just for that map, but any map. But it didn't work. Solar's not eliminated, but I am worried, for his prospects of advancing here. I mean, that's
for his safety.
Yes. For his GSL soul.
Yeah.
As I mean,
now it was brutal. It was not a good series. Don't watch it if you're just tuning in. But that's not how Solar's play looks. It's just he took a risk on one all-in and the other one,
right.
TY took a risk on him, and they both
one
worked out
all-in,
for TY.
Completely worked. The other one absolutely
failed.
Backfired.
Yeah.
So next we've got Stats versus Cure.
Okay, this is going to be a better series because it couldn't possibly be worse. Like even in my craziest thoughts of how could we make this worse? Nothing could be worse. Even if it was cannon rushes twice in a row, that would be more exciting than that last series. A proxy,
yeah, and it
won't
be cannon rushes twice in a row.
It could be bunker rushes twice in a row. All that would actually make for better games than the two we just saw. So it's gonna be a good real restart to the day.
Well, game one was pretty interesting, to be honest, in our series. The problem was that then game two was a backfired cheese, so there was almost nothing else to pull from that.
Yeah,
that
backfiring
series.
Cheese is worse than cheese working.
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
To see. And when I say backfired, I mean it completely and totally, utterly fails. Not cheese that's held. We go, okay, well, he tried.
Yeah. It's not like it was ever close. It was more like...
Yeah. He basically express delivered his army to his opponent's army that was already with superior upgrades and a better unit composition and just lost the game from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this series should be better. I want to say that I think this is going to be closer than some people would expect. Cure is looking quite strong.
Yes. Kira is really good right now. He's in excellent shape. If he could play like he plays online, then he could be a top 4 this season for sure.
Well, he's looking better and better every season we have.
Yeah.
The stats, I want to see also what type of play style is he going to deliver here as well. He's usually one of the more conservative Protoss players we have, the opposite of partying or SOS. But I think this should make for a good series. Cure also, he likes to play a more straightforward TVP, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know?
Like he doesn't seem like he's over the edge in any way. Stats generally with the more defensive plays. I think it's going to be a good series. I'm a little bit worried about stats. He's a little bit up and down lately. He had that one year where he was easily like second to Cyril. Like in fact, he played Cyril everywhere basically.
Yeah.
And he was looking so good there, and I think we got really used to it. And now he's fallen down to a more realistic level in a lot of ways. He's he's actually a little bit like Zest right now, not in playstyle, but in results where it's like some tournaments are really good and some really not.
I think you're completely correct on that, where he looks really good, but there's no guarantee he's going to get that far. Sometimes he does.
Yeah.
But other times...
He's not just the bastion of Protoss hope, though, that he was in like 2018.
Yeah.
Right, that was the year, right? That he was just the killer. Yeah.
Yeah, where he pretty much outplayed everybody into a long game, stopped whatever they were going to do, held the push, harassed, and won from there. Almost never cheesed. He was the guy who was proving that you can be a very reactionary Protoss player, not a Protoss player that's trying to assert control of the game constantly and dictate where it's going to go and then use that to your advantage to win. He was playing the opposite, showing that Protoss can be a pretty dynamic race. We've just been notified that there's something wrong with Stats' PC, so I think we might have to swap the PC out, which usually doesn't take too much time, but we've got a little bit more time to kill up here.
Okay. Well, hopefully he can get that all sorted and feel ready and comfortable to play, because you're going to have to bring your best game against Cure, who's just been really on fire online, beating kind of everybody, showing great quality of games. He's shown good games offline recently as well, but it's not like to that same level that we see online. And we do wonder if he's ever going to fulfill what he does online offline.
Yeah, he is in an interesting position being on Generic Green Wings, because that is such a powerhouse team, and as strong as of a player as he is actually overshadowed by the majority of the rest of the team.
That is true. But he did leave lately, right? So
yeah. But I mean, if you take all the people that he was playing with, it's a different spot that he's in. But it does seem like he's been performing better and better.
I wonder if that would make you want to leave. Like if you feel...
I actually think it could.
Because like literally the best Terran
for some,
and also world champion Rogue and world champion 2-time SOS, it's like that's a hard lineup to sit behind, right?
There's two parts to this, right? There's the part where you're on a team with all these good players, and that can benefit you because of all the practice and information. But then, and this is going to sound maybe a little bit weird to some people, but I think there's some validity to it. The ego, your place, your role, if you're out, not living in the shadows of this, maybe you're not getting as much attention from coaches. You know what I'm saying? It can be better to get a fresh start.
But is it better to go to an environment where there really isn't a coach, where you aren't being taken care of, you're kind of on your own?
For some there is, and I think for others there isn't. I think it depends on your personality. We've had periods in StarCraft history where you had to be on a team to compete.
Yeah.
But I think times have changed. I think people are more connected. Pros are more connected with each other than ever before.
Yeah.
And
well, okay, yeah. I mean,
back then you had to be on a team to get practice, and a lot of the pros were younger, and so you needed someone to kind of help out and get them to events. And emotionally coach them.
I kind of agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, Generic Green Wings has been completely dominant since Kespa disbanded. Their players are at the top of
they're like
almost
the
every
of
single
StarCraft
tournament.
Too. Yeah.
Except they don't even buy new players. They have this set of players.
Right.
And they have won or been at the finals of, like, I swear to God, it's so many tournaments. Like, I can go look it up later, but they have done so disproportionately well for their players that I think that it's kind of, even though we entered this, the last tournament that still had Kespa teams beyond one, the GSL Code S, right? And then let's not forget, actually, Rain also was teamless and won a GSL. So those were kind of in close succession, but Kespa was already kind of going down, and they were going to drop StarCraft 2. The players kind of knew it and stuff. So maybe that affected it some, but I think that Jin Air has proven that the team model still beats the playing at home. Even if you think that's better for you, the team model, Jin Air has proven it, I think, that it is better.
Well, they just have the all-star lineup for each race. Yeah, I think that's true. But we also only have that team.
Yeah.
And I guess there's not a lot. If we had a couple other teams here, it might be helpful to see how that does, too.
Yeah,
if we had teams of people that were also ranking lower and they were free agents.
Yeah.
And, there's different meanings when you say team for different teams.
Well, there's one team
some
that
people
lives
are
together and practices as a pro
There's
team.
other people that are sponsored and they're on that team and they wear that logo and they get money from those sponsors. But
that's not
you
the same.
cannot confuse that with Jin Air Green Wings, which, like when we have a Jin Air Green Wings player in here,
the coach drives them here.
And he's talking to them in between games.
Yeah.
And do you need any more? You need another coffee? Let me get that for you. How are you feeling? Let's talk about what happened in that winners match that you lost. All that. But yeah, let's see how Kier does. Again, though, as interesting as the most successful players are, a lot of times I'm drawn to these players that have been overshadowed and what that's like and how does that feel and can you use that as a tool to overcome?
Yeah.
Or does this become something that actually cripples you and keeps you paralyzed in a certain state in tournaments where you can't advance?
Yeah, some people never get out of that.
It's one of the hardest things for some players to deal with is where they get the same place in a tournament over and over again, like top 8 or top 16 or top 32, and they never move past that. It's like, my God, this is like the Groundhog's Day career where I train all day, I do everything I can to improve, and I don't see any movement.
Well, Sue is the greatest example, right?
Yeah.
He got 6 GSL finals and didn't win one. Just statistically, he should have accidentally won one of those.
Yeah, no. You would think at some point in time, like, you're going to take one of them, and he actually he got to so many finals and then just didn't pull through. It's crazy. Anyways, guys, game 1 on Eternal Empire. Stats versus Cure starts now.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영.
What are you giggling about, Artosis?
I was looking where he's putting his buildings. Hold on. Who's this, Tasis?
I don't know. Wait.
드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 큐어 김도.
Rainers here.
Yeah. Okay, so I was looking just on the minimap where Stats is putting his buildings to block the Reaper jump. And then I was thinking to myself, Stats is putting that there, thinking he's going to block a Reaper jump here against Kier, and then suddenly Tasia has his buildings all proxy to the top of the map and kills the pylon with a Cyclone.
That was so fun casting Tasia's games, by the way.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to see that he can play really, really well.
Yeah. He's the person I'm most excited about this year suddenly. I never thought that I would say that in 2020.
Well, I'm always excited to see, like, when we've had DRG come down and play, I'm like, oh, cool. Look at that. He's back. And,
Dude, DRG is playing so well right now.
I know.
Online. Oh, my God.
It's exciting to see.
Hey, he made it into TSL.
By the way, this is essential for the longevity of StarCraft 2, in a sense, that we need to have players that can come back and compete. I mean, this is what's happened in StarCraft 1. We're having a mix now of old and new.
Yeah.
Where it's like, wow, okay, well, Flash is still insanely good and can win tournaments and compete.
I just want
where we still have new players also coming in, and that's what makes it so exciting,
Yeah, if parting DRG, Tasia, and Bomber all do well, like, how cool is that? That is so many good memories between those 4 players.
Yeah, I think to have a healthy scene, you need to have a mixture of new and old. right? I mean, you want to have players that have had history and been around for a long time. Let's take somebody like Innovation, for instance, right? Everybody who follows any StarCraft 2 knows who Innovation is, but then when you can have new players come up as well. And we're going to be in a very interesting spot in StarCraft 2. We don't know when exactly it's going to be, but eventually all these pros have to do their military service.
Yeah.
And that's why, Tasia was so exciting, is he actually went and did his very early on. I think showing a lot of foresight, because now he can come back. He's still in great condition. He doesn't look slow. He doesn't look strategically unsound at all.
Thank God that some of these guys are coming back and playing really well, because we're starting to lose some fantastic players. Losing Gumiho and Hero, I feel like people haven't even realized it yet. Gumiho, Hero, and Classic are gone.
Yeah.
They are in the military. So we are not going to see them play in GSL for probably 2 years.
They're doing survival training out in the woods.
Yeah.
They're firing guns.
And those are like 3 of the most exciting, awesome players.
Yeah.
That's like 2 of our very best aggressive Protosses, and then our most creative Terran player.
Yeah.
Gone.
Like now, let's go back even further, because there was this whole thing that happened in StarCraft 1. This is very, very early, and this is really important to state. There's a lot of pros said that they could not compete with younger players because their hands wouldn't move fast. And then there became this weird idea in Korea that at a certain age, you're no longer able to be good at StarCraft.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has now basically been completely disproven. As we have pros that are nearing 30 or in their 30s, still able to compete on TV. And in both games, people are looking fantastic, and we're having better games than ever before. But a lot of people thought, therefore, the military service for a StarCraft 1 pro would be a death sentence for your pro gaming career. You couldn't possibly come back. But I think what that really showed is that all the players that were the very best at the very early part of StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 were good for different reasons than the players that got strong later on.
There's definitely some truth to that. I want to talk more about that, but we actually have a drilling clause.
Let's talk about this drop coming up here first.
So this is like, unlike a lot of mine drops that are going to get 2 probes, this has sick potential. If you are not looking for a half of a second, you are going to lose your probe line.
Yeah. And a lot of this is about trying to draw the screen away as the drop comes in. So Drilling Claws finishes up now. Let's see if that Reaper pokes in. It looks like Stats is ready, and to be honest, I'll tell you, I feel like this is kind of, even though this can be very deadly, this is really what Stats is good at holding. Here we go. Yeah. Oh my God, how does that medevac live? 3 kills.
Well,
are you kidding?
He's going to get a blink. Oh,
nope.
Doesn't even need it.
Okay, so 3 kills, I would say, is not enough.
Definitely would agree with that. Excuse me. Medevac and 2 mines going down, especially when you rush to Drilling Claws. Let's not forget that, right? Like, that was his choice to rush to that. So, you've got the Tech Lab on. Oh, another 3.
I'm actually surprised it got that many.
Yeah. Oh, sneaks a Hellion in. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw that Hellion in the base earlier. I didn't realize it got over here now.
We're starting to get there as far as the worker kills go. Look at this. Kira on 50 workers against 49. Not too bad. Not too bad. A lot of gates for Stats right now.
Yeah, the question really when you watch this is how much more damage. Oh, that's funny.
That was cool.
I didn't realize what was happening at first.
Yeah,
it's the obs.
Look at this. He just keeps sending out medevacs with mines in it. This is very cool to see.
Yeah, this is exciting.
It's kind of some Maru style poking its head out.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It reminds me of Maru's games where, it might not be the first 2 medevacs that come in, but the third a lot of times is the one that really starts to do the damage. As sometimes Protoss will start to ease up on the defense, thinking they've held off enough drops, and now they have an opportunity to try to come out and attack. Here we go. Another drop comes in here. Stats immediately pulling the workers away. And again, 3 just seems to be the number of probes you get to kill with each drop if you're Cure.
Yeah, well, Stats is showing his speed here. Look at how many of these medevacs are going down. Like, he has lost a lot of medevacs. He's lost a lot of mines.
Yeah, this is
But if he has enough units to hold on against any attack incoming, it's still fine, right? He's actually got more workers than Stats.
That is true.
So in a longer game, this has been okay.
I think one of the bigger picture things here is that he does not have that many medevacs. Oh my God! Oh, great.
Ooh, nice micro there
Yeah.
from Stats.
Great control there. Yeah, you're losing a lot of medevacs and a lot of mines when you do this, so you don't have that part of your army to reinforce. One thing for the Protoss is that you're not losing army when you're holding these attacks off.
Yeah, that
you
is
don't
true.
lose a stalker,
Very
you don't
true.
lose a sentry, nothing like that.
Which is why you kind of have to be careful as Terran here, because if they just roll you with their army, then everything you did was for naught.
Yeah,
you need to kind of wait. You have to sit back a little bit, make sure you have enough units that they can't get you.
This is a common thing that happens in StarCraft is it looks like one person's winning because they're harassing and killing stuff, and then when an actual fight happens, you realize they actually sacrificed so much of their army to kill the opposing side's workers. Even though they slowed the opposing side down economically, there's just more stuff.
Yeah.
The other side never lost army, and we're going to see that possibly play out here as the pressure is mounting over here on the third base that is just now being planted.
An insanely good mine hit there on the Zealots.
Yeah.
Definitely softens them up quite a bit, but that army from Stats is still very, very scary. Stats is being really cautious here with his movement.
Well, he knows if he gets in at the right angle, he can kick the CC back up onto the high ground.
I feel like his opportunity to break here might be gone.
I think you might be right, Artosis. Oh, good save there. Yeah, one thing about Stats is he's usually pretty safe when he attacks in. He tends to not just attack in to bases and then lose the fight and lose the game.
Yeah.
It's why I think we generally consider him to be the most patient Protoss player there is.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really have the same type of killer instinct that some players have had in the past, like a classic or a hero that we were talking about before, right? Where they'll be like, nah, I can kill this, and then they'll get in there and do it. You'll be like, how did they do that? You know, that's not really the Stats way. He puts some pressure on there, he backs up now.
No, Stats is incredibly conservative, but I think there's a lot that can be learned from people that approach the game like this, you know?
Yeah.
Because overall, if you watch the games, he doesn't seem to have made mistakes at all. Where a lot of other games, it can be very explosive, very back and forth. Now, Terran's going to try to push into this fourth, and it looks like Stats is just going to give it away.
Well, there's some problems going on. He just got his splash damage. He does have 4 High Templars in that prism. See what he gets done with it.
There's actually so much here that Stats is just going to push this away. Getting a good formation really helped out here.
But this was good for Cure. You know,
Sure.
he got a cancel there on the 4th base. He traded some army for some army. Let's not forget that he's had the worker lead for basically the whole game due to his early harassment.
Well, let's see how these storms do now. That's the big damage dealer. That's the high tech. And I think Cure actually is just going to roll from here.
Yeah, beautiful
This is
play.
just so much.
Well, 2 Archons are about to pop out. Maybe he's going to just barely push him back?
I don't
maybe
think so,
not.
man. Yeah. GG. Cure takes game 1 off of Stats.
That was really well done.
Yeah, well, Cure was doing, I think, just about enough with the drops, but also Stats got down there, tried to push into the
I think
third.
he might have had a moment at the 3rd base where he could have killed off a chunk of the army of Cure, and I think he had to take that, and he didn't.
You mean when the Zealots were coming in and it started to back up?
Yes,
and,
yes.
When I was watching that, I thought the same thing. I thought, well, if you're going to go for it, you probably need to go now, because once the CC is landed for long enough and he has enough time to set up Widow Mines, there's no easy way for the Protoss to just snipe off the Widow Mines. Not with Marine Marauder with Stim there.
Well, I think he was probably worried that there were some more Widow Mines behind, because when your Zealots go in that clump and they've already taken a mine hit, it's like, well, you'll lose everything if a couple more mines connect.
Everdream for map number 2. I think we're probably going to have, again, the same ideas coming from Stats. He is pretty thematic with his play. Again, just sort of expanding, taking a third. Nothing tends to happen with Stats before the 3rd base.
Yeah,
he takes a third.
Not too much aggression.
He's waiting for the medevacs to come in for the type of drop it may be. He wants to tech up. Cure, I don't know. I mean, Cure, he's got a good range of play, but I think he generally just also wants to play kind of the game that Stats wants to play against. Probably harass early on, try to push.
Well, I think it's. I don't think we're going to see the same opener from Cure. The Drilling Claws opener, it's not like that popular right now. You don't see it too often.
That might be a one-off, but harass in general, I think, is still fine.
Yeah. regular mine drop, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what he's got planned here. You have to be careful, though. If you go overboard with that early harassment, that's where stats sometimes will shut it down completely. The drilling claws kind of add that X factor in, right, where it's very hard to shut it down completely because they slip right into the ground. It's crazy.
Yeah, they just sink right in. And you know, there were 3 probes killed pretty much every drop, which is not bad. Our game is now loaded up on Everdream. Stats versus Cure, game number 2 starts now.
전투 준비 완료.
What's that? Little proxy SCV going on. This might be a very quick day after we had a very long day on Wednesday.
Well, the first best of 3 we did on Wednesday was an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it was just awesome.
Yeah,
the first best of 3 we did here today was, what, like 12 minutes? And it was woo-wee.
Yeah. If we were in a restaurant, I would have sent that best of 3 back, man.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, I always send my first best of 3 back.
So we have the probe looking for exactly what we're gonna. Well, we don't know. He's looking for a proxy. You know, we're looking for any proxy. This appears to be the one where it's going to be barracks and then factory.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think so. But do you think the factory will be out there, or is he going to make it at home?
I think he might make it at home, but we'll see.
I'd like to actually just see it out there, to be honest.
a
reactor! Definitely making it out there.
Okay, cool.
You don't just, like, reactor and then make the factory at home, and then, like, they come and scout it and kill your reactor. You're like, oh, no.
Oh, man, that takes a long time to build.
Yeah.
There's the factory.
So, I'm guessing this will be a tank push, like marine tank?
Could be. It seems like there's a lot of different ways you could try to do this. Cyclones, maybe? Is it possible?
Yeah, you could go.
We saw that with
reactored marines go well with a siege tank, right?
They do. They do. Yeah, I mean, one thing about Terran when they do this type of play is there's a lot of different combinations you could make.
That is true.
And Protoss doesn't have a lot early on, and funnily enough, we actually have a later proxy here.
Yeah.
Now, this is where things get a little bit difficult to predict as far as how the game goes, because obviously all of the army investment is over here in the middle of the map, and let's say that Protoss makes an Oracle, which I think they most certainly will.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, then, I mean, you're going to kill all the workers.
You really are going to kill all the workers. Like, this is going to be one of those oracles that only stops killing because it runs out of energy.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, when you go, like, if your opponent is making an oracle and has so few gateway units, you go Marine Tank Liberator, which is what it looks like we're going to see here. You might just kill your opponent regardless of not having any SCVs left at home, or very few, right? That is definitely a reality.
Stats spots this, but, you know, this is about as late as you could have spotted it before the army just shows up, and then you get to see what's happening.
Yeah.
So the Oracle's coming. Now, keep in mind that you know, spotting that out there, it tells you that most certainly the main is going to be negative defense, and you could probably kill a lot of workers, and that's economic damage that's going to happen basically before the push starts here from Terran. The problem is the push from Terran has the power to both destroy the defenses you have at your natural and then kill all of your buildings and end the game.
Yeah, and the Oracle won't kill that army
Yeah,
either.
the Oracle will slow down, will kill a large number of the workers, but then you've already basically made the army that you needed. So this is kind of a funny situation.
Yeah, this is where you just
know. Oh my God, you can just get the warp gate.
Oh, if he doesn't finish warp gate, that's it.
Oh my, yeah, that's absolutely.
You have 4 units and you're not getting more, really.
Okay, it looks like he might be able to get it done in time here. 1 energy.
Completed. Wow.
That's crazy. However, getting the cybernetics core is also still a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he should actually pick that off. Slow Zealots are going to be about the most useless thing against this, you know?
Yeah.
And look at that, it's run out of energy.
There's a second Oracle on the way. I don't know if that has to be sent back here to try to help defend, or if you want to keep trying to kill off workers. You know, these pylons, the placement here is becoming pretty important. Oh my God, slow zealots are so garbage.
They are so bad.
And especially in this situation with a Liberator here and nothing to contest it.
This would have been hard if he went Robo at home, you know?
Yeah. GG. Wow, you're just smashing stats.
Wow, what a day. Now we get Cure versus TY coming up. How quickly can that go to Otasis?
I think it's going to be a long series.
Yeah? We got to get one at least. I mean,
yeah, I don't want... A lot of these games, there's like a back and forth that we kind of get to watch and see, how the upgrades
I like two
are going.
players to like test their skill against each other. What we've seen today is a bunch of build orders. Like we wrote it down on a piece of paper. Like this build order beats that one,
We drew
and
them
this
out of
one
a hat.
beats that one, and this
Yeah.
one beats that one.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2-0-2-0. Sick.
Kind of crazy, man. Well, I don't feel like we got to see, at least so far, Stats' full potential.
I don't think we've seen anyone's full potential at all.
Yeah, I think you're basically right. We had something close to a normal game in Game 1. We'll see what happens, though, in our next best of 3 after this short break.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
섭취 이제 탄산으로. 청정 제주 숙취 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스가.
뭐야?
오빠가 맞춰.
하식스잖아.
그냥 핫식스가 아니야. 핫식스 더킹이라고.
뭐야 색깔이 하나 더 있네 릴리야?
핫식스 더킹 펀치야.
이거 무슨 맛인데? 뭐 과일 맛 나는 거야 이거?
이건 열대 과일 맛이 나서 여자들이 굉장히 좋아한다고.
이 과일 맛 나면서 되게 상큼한데?
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정 제주 숙취 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
호위상의 플랜은 전체를 허용해서 안 되는 거죠?
네. 자, 들어가면서 이병력을 잡아먹기 울트라까지 나왔습니다. 울트라 나와서 이 전차 라인 걷어내는 움직임이 지금 나오고 있고, 저 지금 밀어넣고 있는 상황이거든요. 울트라 찔러 넣고 이 여왕 선수가 이병력 걸었다고 내면
와,
테라만 손해예요.
이걸 뒤집어요 이 경기를?
계속 막기만 했어요. 막기만 하는데 거기서도 최선의 판단만 하면서 저글링만 계속 돌려주면서 이런 상황을 만든 게 이 방송 무대에서 이렇게 할 수 있다는 게 정말 대단한 것 같습니다.
그렇죠. 지금 실제 자, 이병력 지금 걷어낼 수 있습니까? 뒤에 추가 면역이 나왔는데요.
이거
차나요?
안 되는데 이거 세랄?
네, 세랄 저글링.
저 벙커 완성돼 버리면 어떻게든 벙커.
와.
이거
내리는 것 자체가 좀 위험할 수 있거든요.
그렇죠.
아, 이거 뮤탈리스크가 지금 나와 있는 상황이라 이병력 좋은 위치 잡고 좀 싸우지를 못하고
컨트롤 여지가 있는데.
네, 자, 안 돼요. 실제 무기고 쪽으로. 와, 이건 진짜 아까는 대군 좀 보고 난 이후에
와, 웬만한 적으라면 정면 싸움 신경 쓰느라 바쁠 텐데 이거 뭐 외곽 쪽에 사용되는 행동. 아이고,
이후에 기포. 아, 이거 걸리면
전면.
아, 같이 터지죠.
와,
세랄.
핵도
이것까지.
실패죠.
네, 들어가서 이병력 그냥 잡아먹네요.
저
이제 나갑니다.
본체 손이 닿아야 되는데요.
네, 들어오는데 자, 그 이후에 지금 남겨뒀던 그 애벌레 전부 다 병력으로 바꿔주면서 지지!
적당히 눈치 봐서 덜 찍고 다 잡으려고 그러네. 그럼 뮤탈 다시 찍어야지.
네,
이러면 분열기가 의미가 없죠.
그렇죠. 자, 들어와서 싸우고 있는데 좀 짜내면서 이병력 숫자가 들면 잡아먹혀요. 추가 또 왔어요.
판을 너무 빠르게 잘 읽어요. 선수의 머리를 읽고 있습니다.
네, 지금 여기도 분열기를 수비를 해보려고 합니다만 문제는요, 뮤탈리스크가 남아있다는 거예요.
그렇죠.
지지!
아케이드 컨트롤.
처음에는 소환하고
네.
살리면서
어쨌거나 불멸자는 맹투 충격이 강하니까요.
네, 들어온 병력 이제 막아내야 되거든요.
광대사 상대 적당히 해주면서
저글링.
이거 너무 큰데요.
자, 에워싸면서 이병력 끊어먹기 위해서
호야는 구도는 정말 좋아요.
자, 이병력 잡히고
세라
서킷과 GSL의 경기가 시작됩니다. 이러면서 200경기를 맞췄어요.
초반에 분명히 세라 선수가 불리하게 출발했던 경기였어요. 그런데 이걸 움직임으로 결국 뒤집었습니다. 이제는 프로토스가 도탈할 수가 없습니다. 근데 문제는 시간이에요. 지금 마음이 급한데 세라 선수는 자꾸 상대의 뒤를 흔들면서 시간을 계속 잘 끌었거든요.
자, 들어가면서 지금 싸움을
진결 한 번 정도까지는 괜찮아요. 그 다음이군요. 진결 한 번까지 괜찮은데 그 다음
불사조 높습니다.
역시 진결 잘 들어갔어요. 우리 군주 본체 데미지가 얼마나 들어갈 수 있냐인데요.
하나 찢겨보려고
안
안 돼요. 그냥 녹아요. 제재.
그 원에서 하늘의 왕자가 있다면 저 공포가 약간 하늘의 광의 느낌인데 이렇게 흔들리면 안 됩니다.
세라
공포의
선수의
존재가 보여줘야죠.
따라가야 됩니다.
이건 정말 순수하게 정말 힘싸움의 결과가 나온 이 순서의 결정이에요.
자, 이 상태로
누가 더 잘 쏘냐? 풀다 뺐어요.
네. 자, 빼고 난 이후에 폭풍. 거신의
중간기에 한을 풀 수 있느냐?
네. 자, 이병렬 지금 잡아낼 수 있나요? 문제는 타락기.
타락 대신 추적자.
추적자가 있어요?
네. 조합이 누가
미나요,
먼저 뛰느냐?
미나요?
검은명령 한 번 더 소환해서 감염증을 정리해야 되는데요.
와, 신경전충.
나 대신에 1.4 플레이.
뺏어오게 된다면 빠르게 제거해줘야 될 텐데요.
그대로 풀려버리면 감염증을 한번 노려볼 수 있긴 한데.
그래도 이렇게 교환되는 것 자체가 저그한테 굉장히 좋은 상황인 것 같고요.
와, 너무 잘 쓰네. 기어는 지상병력까지 200병이 몰아칠 준비하고 있네요.
양방향으로 달려들고 있는데 왼쪽에 병력을 눈치채야 되거든요.
그렇죠.
네.
한 개.
역전. 자, 탐진.
근데 이거 광전사가 너무 쉽게 정리됐는데요.
네, 불멸자만 남았어요. 저걸링 붙거든요.
불멸자만 남게 된다면
무너지네요. 무너집니다.
승리자는 들어갔으나 교전 컨트롤에서 압도되고 있습니다.
그렇죠. 세란 선수의 이 한방. 김도우 선수는 여기서 경기를 내주고 있어요.
정말 이 세라를 누가 막을 수 있을까 싶을 정도입니다. 완성형 저그잖아요.
그렇죠. 대한민국 선수입니다.
2019 GSL vs. the World Grand Finals. Elaser vs. Sero.
자, 지금 뚫으면서 지금 들어오고 있는 상황이거든요. 세란.
여기서 이제 잘 따라다녀야 됩니다. 병력이 잠깐 많았다고 할지라도
위에서 내려서 아케이드까지. 오! 릴레이저. 또 들어오는데 이런 거 따라가도 돌리는 거.
와, 헤어지는 컨트롤로 일레이저가 정말 잘 싸운 거 맞는데 아이고 저우대적에서 여왕을 많이 안 눌러요. 그러면 공격을 가기 위해서 여왕을 계속 찍어줬던 세라 선수가 당연히 수혈을 활용한 싸움에서 우위에 설 수 있죠.
하드 카운터.
지금 병력 불입니다.
네, 자, 이 병력을 지금 계속 뚫어내고 있고요.
그리고 바퀴가 업그레이드가 제대로 되지 않은 상태이기 때문에 아직 그렇게 도움이 되진 않아요.
그렇죠. 지금 내려가는 그 과정에서도 손해가 좀 누적되고 있는 상황이고.
이래서
다시 한번 들어갑니다. 이 병력 여기 흔들리지 말아야 되는데요. 영 터지고.
흔들지 못하면 세라 선수는 위험해요.
네.
지금 가시죠. 군락 너무 좋거든요.
이거 지금 두 군데 데미지 들어가요. 데미지 들어갔어요. 그래도 병력 숫자 세란이 많거든요.
네. 방업도 한 단계 더 앞서고 있고.
몰아넣고.
자, 일레이저 체제를 바꿀 수가 없겠는데요. 이러면.
자, 이 병력이 지금 얻어맞고 있어요. 위에 때리고 있고.
지금 이 세라 선수의 멀티태스킹이 세라를 멀티태스킹.
우승합니까?
네.
후보전 자체도 세라리 훨씬
훨씬 낫죠. 이득이죠. 소문만 해줘도.
정도가 아니라 그냥 세라 선수 혼자 이득.
더 월드 우승자가 나왔습니다. 완벽한 경기 운영 무결점 모습으로 최고의 장면을 만들어낸 세라.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
라벨은 까다버리라고 했는데 우리 아빠는 맨날 까먹어요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
취했나?
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
라운드 오브 60 TY 전태양 솔라 강민수 스태치 김대영 큐어 김도우 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
Welcome back, everybody. Will we have a long series, or will the trend of super quick best of threes continue on? I hope not.
I can't imagine a super quick best of 3 between TY and Cure in TBT, right? It's impossible, right?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
These guys both tend to play longer games TBT.
Yeah.
You can do crazy short stuff, though, in a TBT as well.
You can.
I think it's less likely to succeed compared to Terran proxying and other matchups, but
yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
What if TY just makes 4 barracks and floats them all into Cure's base?
I don't know. He gets a new unlockable thing we never saw before in StarCraft 2.
Oh my god. Imagine if they flew faster, like if you could use the speed boost, and he just flies over and takes the reactor of Cure before he can get it. That would be the ultimate tasteless. We need boosts on flying buildings.
We've talked about this. Like, you know how much it would change the game if you slowed down building fly time? Or like viability of proxies and stuff like that. Game 1 will be on Eternal Empire. The winner of TY versus Cure moves on to the round of 8.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. TY 전태양. 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 큐어 김도우.
It's kind of a weird background sound when the name comes down. They're like, you know what we need here? Someone, okay, yeah, no, call me on a bad phone connection and have a hairdryer going. That's it. That's what we needed.
Yes!
Oh, 2 barracks from Cure. Very cool. Very cool. 2 barracks a Reaper is what this should end up being. I remember seeing this like a really long time ago. Like, I think you just gain an early advantage with this. Like, maybe their Reaper comes over and then you jump down. You're like, ha-ha, 2 Reapers. And then you kill it, and it's like, you can kind of control, maybe force a cancel on the command or something like that.
Yeah, let's see how the 2 builds interact with each other going into this.
That's what we do.
He's making an X, Hartosis. That's where the treasure's buried.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Now, these 2 players, I do think TY is still like a pretty clear favorite. But Cure, I really do feel, and I know this is something that's easy to say about many players, but I think it's more so true with him. He's improved every tournament. He's brought a little bit better play. He looks much more comfortable. Cure was a guy who was very dominant in a lot of online play, online ladder, online tournaments, but he's looking better and better in these GSLs.
Yeah.
I do feel like TY in some ways is like the ultimate StarCraft person.
Yeah.
You know, the ultimate opponent. I mean, he's had massive success in tournaments. He's been playing since he was as young as he can remember. He's very articulate about the game. He's casting it now here when he's not playing in the tournament. And if you just look at the way he handles the game, he knows how to prep. He seems to understand his race, his opponent's race, the map they're on, the matchup, the meta in general, but a lot of just how to counter exactly what they're going to do in their own prep, which is kind of terrifying.
Well, he's very smart. I think that is a natural course of things when you've been a pro gamer since you were like 12.
Yeah.
And you know, you just kind of never stopped. It's like, well, the amount of information that you've absorbed at this point, this is really just the extension of your brain into the game through your hands.
Yeah.
You know? It's
He
like
just
both
knows
of your
how
hands,
RTS works.
Yeah, both your
complete
hands
level.
are avatar tails basically, and the keyboard and mouse are also avatar tails.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
I remember watching the Avatar movie in the theater, the part where they connected the tails. I just started laughing so hard. I'm like, of course they were going to do that.
Imagine the first gross Avatar aliens that connected their tails together.
Yeah.
Tasteless.
Yeah, and they're like, I kind of like this. Do you like this?
By the way, this Reaper build didn't do very much. He made the Reapers, and TY just stayed in his base. So
Yeah.
TY has a quicker command and some quicker tech, but Kira trying to make up for that, going for a quicker third command.
Yeah, he'll try to balance this up by getting that set up there and then catching up economically. There's a slight lead here for TY, but nothing to write home about. We do have the Raven coming out a little bit earlier. Is this actually rallied towards the bottom?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's just rallied to his natural.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if he sends it like directly over for harassment.
Just throws an auto turret down. Ha!
Maybe.
Nope, keeps it here.
Throws one down defensively here. I'm like, what? So second Raven on the way. Nothing too crazy going on, really. I mean, the fact that Kira opened 2 Barracks Reaper is interesting and neat. And I guess now TY kind of figures out, he's like, what are you doing with 3 Reapers there? But
Reapers are funny units because they don't have almost any utility past a certain point in the game.
yeah, very little unless you're Bjorn.
Most units are not like that. You know, yeah, Bjorn was a guy who I think really showed how good you can be with Reapers. He just was so excellent at controlling them, but
yeah,
they're strong, they're nimble, but they actually just can't hold a fight against most anything else.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely just don't fulfill that role.
But I guess that makes sense. I mean, if they were strong, like they were in the early days before they were patched, I mean, units that can toss grenades and jump up hills and heal, it's like, okay.
Those auto turrets got so much damage while he was chasing the Hellions.
And he's even going to get 9
Oh my
kills.
god, that's insane damage.
Now that's unfortunate because you're not, you know, when you cast this, you're just trading in mana for worker kills. It's not even like you had to, you know, send a Widow Mine in there and then you might have lost some medevac or the Widow Mine, but hey, at least you killed off some workers. And this is now, this is now forcing Cure to do something pretty drastic because otherwise Cure is just going to get further and further behind in this race. I mean, when you're in a macro game on 3 bases, you're both basically in a race.
Yeah.
And right now, TY's taking a massive lead. Now, this is spotted. Looks like Cure's going to try to come in here, and he does pick off the Raven. But, I mean, this sounds the alarms back at home. I mean, if I'm TY, I'm going to be ready to try to take this on in a fight.
I think you don't even mind. It's like, yeah, you lost a Raven, but now at least you know exactly where his army is and what he's trying to do. You know what's in his head.
Even losing the Raven had already paid for itself with that 1, or I guess 2 auto turrets that were thrown down there at the natural. Slowing the 3rd down from landing there. I mean, TY is playing a very good game.
Yeah. And he's got his 3rd actually on position about the same time as Kier, even though Kier got his more quickly. His upgrades are not too far behind. His stim obviously very, very far behind, but that's all right because he's really been working on his Viking and tank count, which is more of a long-term play anyways. And with the amount of economic damage that he's done here, yeah, it seems to me like TY is just kind of ahead in all ways except for having stim completed.
Yeah. TY really just in control of this game. Now, it appears that Kier has decided this is going to be the moment. If he can do something, it better be now. He's moving up towards 12 o'clock, and he seems intent on trying to push this 3rd base. Now, if he tries to do a drop, it's going to be caught by those Vikings. But I don't know that he can actually push in here. We'll see. The Raven is oftentimes used as a disabler on the tanks to allow you to encroach territory you'd otherwise, it would be impossible to do so in. But there's a sensor tower here. And so there we go. The tank's disabled, but auto turret's thrown down here to tank. And I don't know if that was the right move here. Now Kier's Marines can come in and do some damage of their own. But this is not territory-breaking attacks here.
Yeah.
He is in range of the CC, which means there's a clock on TY. He needs to figure out how to do something to stop this attack, but I guess a Liberator is going to be enough in that sense.
He's really got that air control right now. The attack from Kier not doing what he was really looking for, but it wasn't terrible. Looking at this situation right now, I guess Kier does have his 2-2 started first, which is nice. The Armory only now finishing up for TY so he can continue onwards. But, you know, Kier's caught up mostly in workers. He's got, like, slightly more army supply, but he should, based on what they've been making. TY, again, has gone for a longer-term play with getting more Vikings and more tanks out more quickly.
So we have Kier now moving through the bottom. I don't know if there's any real pushable area here. I don't know if you know, but on this map, can you, from their natural, can you siege up on the other side there and still pelt any significant locations there? I guess you can get the gas, right?
Yeah, you can hit the gas. Yeah. I don't know that you can hit a patch, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like you might be able to, but it's not a bad idea if you could do that. But
yeah.
It does seem like if the game's fairly even, Terran will eventually just come over there and push you away from that as well. Now, TY is moving out with his 2 medevacs, and this is going to go around the push, the soon-to-be push here from Kier.
Yeah, this is really standard TY. Like, he really likes to just kind of tech up, have a good army, sit most of it at home, and then send a couple medevacs out. And then he's looking for damage while you're running around with most of your army. So, doesn't quite lose that medevac there, but is going to try to get some damage done on this third.
Racing towards the third now. He'll take out the sensor tower. There is, it's like 1 medevac, 2 medevacs here with the rest of this army. But immediately TY identifies that, picks up, and is going to look like he wanted to try to go into the main there, but then decides to go ahead and back up, realizing eventually there's not going to be any unpredictable moves in that sequence of trying to attack. So he backs up, and I think that's a smart move. He probably would have lost the medevacs had he gone in any further.
He got trapped, so he's got to get something done still. He drops a few Marines off at the third, drops everything else into the main base. And yeah, I mean, this isn't doing a whole lot right at the moment, but at least he tried to get something done with it.
So we have the 4th about to land over here. I like this push from TY. With the Vikings here, it's very hard to ever hold your ground. Wow, and he takes out 2 of those medevacs. Cheeto dusting the army. Yeah, but he can't push that any further, right? He's going to back up.
Yeah, like he still does have a Raven, but he is down a little bit, right? He's down 2 upgrades on the Marines, and he has far fewer Marines. He has to play a slightly slower, more positional game with his army.
So trying to edge in. We are probably going to have this push come in here at the top, I would imagine. I don't know what's over there to defend, though, at the third base.
That's all right.
Yeah, not bad. Not great, though.
Yeah.
2-2 finishes now. And I think that Kier might be getting into an advantageous position. I mean, he's going to take this out, right? And it seems like the long-term investments are beginning to pay off here for Kier. TY actually loses the CC, which is huge.
Yeah, good move.
Now, the main is almost mined out. We have seen games where you just swap the main command center for the third base there.
Wouldn't be surprised if he does something like that here. So TY down a little bit after that, but going to go ahead and flank this. Marines coming in from both sides, has his Vikings coming up as well to clear back some medevacs.
TY is coming out a little bit behind here, and now Kier's going to push in from the bottom. And if he can siege this up just in range without TY realizing it, that initial few splash shots are going to be huge. However, TY scans, good instinct there.
More command centers being made for Kier. He does have those 4 bases mining, same as TY, but TY lost 1. You can really see the difference in their styles here, Tasteless. 9 medevacs against 4, but there's 9 Vikings on TY's side. Kier is really trying to kind of maintain a bit of map control and keep that pressure on. Because that's how his medevacs are going to get use, right? Is being very mobile, running around, stimming, trying to get favorable engagements.
Oh,
but
wow,
TY, oh, look at that. Just sieged up here. What a hard thing to engage. But look at this. TY actually pushing at the same time.
Wow, and with a planetary behind that, he kills the tanks and loses basically all of the infantry. And we're seeing losses on both sides here. But sieging up into siege mode. And chipping away at that. I think we're getting closer and closer to a possible Cure victory if he can keep this up. 3-3 is done. Another real threat here. These tanks are close enough to both hit the CC and any SCVs behind that are repairing.
Oh, I love the Liberators coming out. The Planetary trying to get rid of those Marines.
Not in time.
Yeah, we'll run in with the Marines to make sure that he actually does get to push that back, keeps his Planetary alive. Okay, all is said and done after that. It looks like Cure is going to be up a decent SCV count right now. Similar army supplies. Of course, the upgrade's a bit ahead for Cure as well. TY going to be finishing up that +3 attack, which is the more important one, but the armor helps. If it's just Marine versus Marine, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, we also need to see what angles they're able to engage in. I love this one Liberator here. This is really allowing this push to get closer and closer here. The Liberator, there's nothing the tanks can do to stop this. The Marines try to get close, but with 4 siege tanks in range of protecting the ground under the Liberator. Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah, that was
save.
a nice move from Cure. You have to deal with those Liberators. If you don't have Vikings, you can't make them yourself, so you have to be able to overrun them.
Oh,
nice pick off. That mobility of Cure really paying off right now.
Cure is now so big. He has so many expansions. TY is moving with a pretty scary army. I mean, it's hard to deal with, but frankly, Cure just has so much of the map now. I can see Cure continuing to outpace TY.
TY, oh my god, this drop could be gigantic. Only a single missile turret. It actually takes down one of the medevacs before it really unloads.
Yeah. Now the drop's happening in the main. Meanwhile, we can see that TY's going to try to push into this one location, but already the 2 6 o'clock bases are in the ownership of Cure now.
Medevac's mostly being picked off, so this drop won't last forever, but there is a lot of damage being done to his economy.
Oh
Look at this.
God.
Another attack up here from Cure, going after this Planetary now.
He has not managed to push over to that far left base either. I think we're almost to the end here. I think Cure is just crushing.
Yeah,
wow, Cure is so good in this game. It's crazy.
He's a very good StarCraft player.
This
oh my god. Look at the amount of SCVs that have actually gone down this game for
only
TY.
20 SCVs remaining here for TY.
And that's most of them right there.
Yeah. I think we're going to see TY tap out in a moment here. We're going to have to go to game 2. Cure really investing in more mobility and strength in the long game. TY had some cool openings that gave him some cool windows to try to take advantage of the game, but Cure powered through this game and is coming out on top. And now it's TY with 2 SCVs. Did I say 2? I meant 0. GG.
I thought when you said 2, you might have meant 0.
Yeah, well, just to make it clear for everybody watching.
Yeah, so the first win goes to Cure. I think it was a pretty even game throughout.
Sure.
In fact, I think TY's opener was even better, but the way that Cure was trying to play that was a more mobile style.
Right.
He was very aggressive on the edges and very quickly taking additional expansions. So I think TY felt pressure from that and didn't quite defend as well as he needed. If he defended the first couple pushes a little bit better, the momentum of Cure never gets rolling as hard.
Yeah. Nightshade for game 2. I really enjoyed game 1. That was a fun TVT to cast. That's what I've kind of been waiting for, games like that today. Let's see what Cure can do, though. Again, I said Cure looks better and better every tournament, especially his live tournaments. He's no longer just a player that plays well at home and plays well online. If he wins here, defeating TY would be huge. Let's see if TY can even this out or if Cure moves on to the round of 8.
전투 준비 완료. TY 전태양. 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 큐어 김도우.
What's that SC doing up there? What's that one doing
so
up there,
he made the barracks first in his main, and then he's going to make the other 2 barracks up there.
That's a sneaky 3X Reaper.
Yeah, so if you scout this, I think you're right. So if you scout this, you see the first barracks, you go, okay. That is if you scout it, but and I'm talking about the barracks at the entrance. You'd say, oh, well, he looks like it's a normal game. We just had one of those, and because of the ordering, the sequencing of the buildings is in a funny setup. I think if you scout, and the idea, of course, when you scout is to confirm what's happening, so that you know what kind of game you're in. This would still be misleading.
It is definitely misleading. I could definitely see his command center getting canceled this game. I thought that Kier was going to take a more aggressive stance last game with the 2-Rax Reaper, but with TY never committing a Reaper over, it was going to be very hard. Now with 3 and 2 of them proxied, I think that's a very different story.
Well, this is so cool because, this sets up well based off what happened in game 1. He went with a much more mild Reaper opening, and it didn't do that much at the start. Now he's doing one of the most, I guess I should say, a much better disguised Reaper build here. Now, hold on. TY's going up. Does he spot this? You know what? It just never fails to amaze me. It's like everybody knows each other's scouting pattern just enough where...
Well, you have to think, you have to put yourself in their shoes. What's reasonable?
Yeah.
Where can you scout to and not feel like a tool, you know?
Yeah.
So you can't scout everything, guys. People seem to think you can scout everything. You can't. Anyone who thinks you can scout everything doesn't actually play StarCraft.
No, it's
just not doable.
It's not it's not like just scout the whole map. It's like, okay, dude.
Let me
you got anything else you want to say?
On that.
Yeah. Can you hold on? I'm going to write this down because you are a sage.
All right, this is a lot of Reapers coming in right now. I believe TY has 2, and it looks like he has a Helene about to pop out.
Oh my God!
This is
TY!
bad. All right, already loses one.
Oh my God, diving right into the main here. And then the nades, the sheer number of nades you can toss down here. Oh, the Helene!
Oh, just barely doesn't get that last shot off.
Which would have been really helpful. And remember, these, oh my God, they're going to be healing. Oh, ow. Oh, ow.
Here, what a monster.
Oh my God.
He has done so much. Wow.
I feel like I was watching a child pull the limbs off of a spider back there.
Yeah.
Stop! You're killing it!
Well, TY's lucky that Kier just advanced, because otherwise he would have now fed the limbless spider of TY for stats next.
Yeah, no kidding.
My God. Well played. Good disguising there of his build.
Yeah, it was really smart. And you can see that's one of those builds. It comes right when TY's Reapers are moving out. He catches them. And, I mean, things go very fast in those moments. We have an interview now, Andy. Let's go ahead and get this translated. We'll be going to that in a second here with Yuri.
All right, we're going to talk with Cure, who won today's match and moved on to the round of 8. How do you feel? Congratulations. Thank you. A great start to the season, Cure. And now it's a round of 8 in 4 years. How do you feel? I mean, yesterday I was really nervous. I couldn't sleep. I only slept for like 1 hour. And I'm just really happy my games worked out well. And people are saying that your offline matches are actually really good now. So what about that? I mean, in the last Super Tournament, I thought I adapted to the offline stage, but I'm still a little sleep deprived, so I'll have to see. And you definitely have put in a lot of effort to your strategies. And you beat your counter TY today 2-0. And what efforts have you put in to defeat him? I mean, if I just go, if I go conventional against TY, he's too good at late game, so it's really hard for me to beat him. So I went for the strategies that are quite unique in today's trend. And you definitely use the battle wits to acquire your win today. And you use your disguise really good. So is this really good in the current meta?
몇번 당해봤는데.
I mean, I lost to innovation a few times with this build.
오프라인에서는 선수들이 안 써가지고.
And in offline stages, the players don't really use it. So I think I might be the first one that uses
확실히
it.
판짜기도 좋아지고 심리전도 잘
And
활용하시는
yes, great strategies and great battle wits.
프로토스전도 손쉽게 2대0
And
승리를 거뒀는데요.
you acquire your
프로토스전도
2-0 win
힘드셨어요?
in the TVP matchup as well. So how was the Protoss matchup?
무난하게 해주면은 이길 것 같았는데.
I mean, I had a feeling I might win.
좀 무난하게 해주셔가지고.
And stats did play like I expected, and that's why I was able to win.
생각해보니까 비조의 네 번째로 뽑히셨는데
Think about it. You were the one that was picked last in this group.
더 올라가야 된다고 생각을 하시나요?
So what do you think about your current position?
워낙 다 커리어가 높아서.
I mean, all the other players have really good careers, so I don't really regard myself to be really high compared to others.
네,
But I think I still have a lot to do. I still have a lot to do.
진출 정말 좋은 결실을 이뤄냈습니다. 이제 8강의 상대는 A조의 2위 선수 백동준 선수인데요.
And your round of 8 opponent will be Deer, the second place of Group A. So what about Deer?
16강인가 거기서 한번 이겼기 때문에.
Well, in Super Tournament, I beat him in the round of 16 once. So in the head-to-head record, I was behind, but now I'm starting to gain some
4년
confidence.
만에 진출하는 8강에서 어떤 모습 보여주실지
So we'll see
기대해보겠습니다.
how you
마지막
play
한마디
in the round of 8
들어볼게요.
against Cure. Anything you want to say before you go?
솔직히 좀 힘든 조라고 생각을 했거든요.
Well, to be frank, I thought this group would be really hard.
센척하면서
In the group nomination, I tried to pretend I was strong.
지면 안 될 정도로 연습했는데 이겨서.
And I practiced really hard, and I'm really happy that my practice bore fruit today. And I'm gonna put on a better performance in the next
네,
game.
다시 한번 1위 진출 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
네, 지금까지
So
A조의
that
2위
really begs the
김도욱
question:
선수를
what's a better
만나봤습니다.
performance in the next
계속해서
round if you just went 2-0 against Stats and 2-0 against TY? Is he going to 3-0 Dark in the next round? Like, where do we go from here?
It's kind of crazy to see just how much he bopped today.
Yeah, we've actually had 5 bops and 1 good TVT between
Yeah,
TY and
yeah.
Cure. That's basically what it's been. A very strange day so far here.
Yeah, a lot of we're getting to see how certain builds interact with each other and can end games quickly. We're going to go to a short commercial break. We come back to the losers match in Group B of the GSL Code S.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
당신 뭐 핫식스 더킹 아세요?
핫식스 뭐요?
핫식스 더킹.
이거 정말로 맛있는데
제가 오늘 핫식스 더킹 먹었기면 당신은 저한테 빨릴 거예요. 아세요?
이런 악마의 음료 이걸 빠시다니
그리고 핫식스 더킹 그 빨간 제품 있거든요. 열대 과일 맛이 나요. 열대 과일 맛.
자신 있으세요?
라벨 떼고 버려야 되는 건 알죠? 근데 귀찮아서 잘 안 해요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
섭취 이제 탄산으로. 청정제주 수치 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
뭐야?
오빠가 맞춰.
핫식스잖아.
그냥 핫식스가 아니야. 핫식스 더킹이라고.
뭐야 색깔 하나 더 있네 릴리야?
핫식스 더킹 펀치야.
이거 무슨 맛인데? 뭐 과일맛 나는 거야 이거?
이건 열대 과일 맛이 나서 여자들이 굉장히 좋아한다고.
이 과일맛 나면서 되게 상큼한데?
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 수치 비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
라운드 오브 60 TY 전태양 솔라 강민수 스태츠 김대영 큐어 김도우 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
좋아. I like when Rainer says that. That's like, I like it in Korean. Say it with me, Artosis. 좋아.
All right, Tasteless. It has been a very strange day. A day of 2 O's.
좋아.
Stats for Solar.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just like, you're doing this part of this. Chola.
Okay. Well, stats for Solar. It's kind of funny that this is like an ex-Jinair guy crushing a group of ex-Splice players. This was Team Splice before.
That's true.
And now they're all here, and 2 of them are going to go get eliminated. First one of these 2. Who do you think takes this? I actually think Solar's going to win.
No.
Yes.
I think Stats wins.
No, it's going to be Solar.
I'm really surprised. I thought we were both going to agree on Stats.
Stats is,
I guess
Stats
we're
is
still
not
fighting.
super feeling PvZ right now, and PvZ is a very aggressive matchup at the moment, and when that's the meta, Stats normally falls off a little bit.
Yeah, you might be right. Well, we'll see. Game 1 is loaded up now. Again, the loser is knocked out of the round of 16 GSL Code S.
퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영 트라이엄펀트 송 게이밍 솔라 강민수.
All right, so we've already had the hatchery block into taking the hatchery at the third base. Pretty standard of ZVP openers right now. Every Protoss looking to block that. But really what we're kind of waiting to see here is Stats' first building after the Cybernetic score. Wow, I feel like I'm back in time again. Remember Heart of the Swarm all the time before we went up to 12 workers? Be like, and now we wait for the Cybernetic score to finish.
Yeah, yeah.
Because nothing would ever happen, but that
was our best casting for sure. That was.
Look at their record, 23 and 22 in Legacy of the Void.
Okay, now I didn't know they had played that much. That's a very high
dude,
number.
they played at least 45 times.
Now, what is Stats going to do? We talked about this a little bit before the game loaded up, but you know, one thing about PvZ is it appears that Protoss has to stop the Zerg. Doesn't mean the Zerg can't do an all-in or try to finish the game quickly, but it does seem that the Protoss cannot just sit on the game and try to go win this in a war of attrition. And so, basically, the Zergs know that there's some kind of push coming, some type of attack, some type of incoming technique that's good, that's inbound, that's going to try to go for the knees. so to speak, to try to just slow them down, to try to stop them from getting too powerful. Now, when you know that that's coming because essentially it has to happen, it gets a little bit easier, right? Because all you're trying to do is preempt that and then outlast the game.
Yeah. But let's not forget there is like a range of when they can attack you.
Exactly. But we also got to point out that Stats is a player who's not as known for doing these types of timed attacks. I mean, StarCraft 2's been around for a long time, but most of the time Stats was just staying back and defending. Doesn't mean he can't do some type of attack, but if he does, I want to see what kind of attack it's going to be and how well he can do it.
Yeah, well, right now he is going for glaives really quickly. Oh my god, Baneling has a bunch of lanes.
Did he not see it?
I don't think he saw it.
I think he didn't see it.
No. That looks normal.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you hit speed. That's, of course. So, it looks like there's a little frog in there.
Where?
Look! There's a little frog in there.
In what?
In the spawning pool. Oh my god, there's a little frog in the spawning pool.
Wow.
Well, it's a big frog, actually. It's like as big as the whole pool itself.
Yeah, it's at least the size of you or me.
Bigger. It's bigger than a stalker, even. Okay, now, the Baneling bust that's incoming, he's not really ready for it. He doesn't have any idea that it's coming. There's no sentry. Oh, boy.
I think this might just work. Here we go.
Oh, he shows it right before the warp gates are done.
Ah!
Yeah, Banelings do not do well against stalkers, but he is softening it up quite a bit. Look at this. That bought him a lot of time, man.
Yeah. And the force field comes down.
Good force field.
Now the Cybernetics core is going to fall as well, which actually really limits your options. You could pick up there on the warp prism.
Yeah, that stalker staying alive does make a big difference. The Banelings come in and hit those pylons. The pylons getting very, very low here.
Protoss can continue to fall back and try to retract. The defense is further and further away here. Good pickups there with the Zealots.
Oh my god.
Stats.
Crazy.
God King man.
Oh my god, these
God
games today.
Emperor stats.
Dude, that was really close. If he like, I feel like if it was a half second more that he waited before the Banelings walked in, we might have seen a warp in of Adepts there. And without that force field,
I think you
like
make a
the
very good
Adepts
point.
add more DPS behind, sure, but I think the force field was really crucial.
I think the force field is absolutely mandatory for sandbagging that attack enough to where it fizzles out. Now, what the hell is going on here with Solar, by the way? These games are I know that everybody's going to have games that look like that, but we've had more games from Solar that look like that, where he does an attack that just doesn't work, and he goes, okay, I lost.
Must have been watching Scarlet's play.
That's right. Scarlet's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
She can do the macro play, but she usually pulls it off with some great cheese.
Oh,
the jacket is off. Get this jacket off of me.
Body
Give me
temperature is rising.
Triumphant Song Gaming shirt. I'm starting to sweat. I'm taking my shirt off. Now, Artosis, your turn. Take your shoes off, Artosis. It's getting weird here. Game 2 on Everdream has loaded up.
전투 준비 완료.
We have an update for you guys. A week from now is Stats' birthday. Today is Solar's birthday.
아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영.
That's correct.
트라이엄펀트 송 게이밍 솔라 강민수.
All right. Now we get to see how this game will end. So far, again, now we're up to 6 boppings and 1 good game today.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. I mean, every now and then you're going to have a day like this. It just happens.
Yeah.
I generally prefer it if we have, like, just some boppings mixed in every day.
Then,
like, some good games every day.
It's the right mixture. You know, you're making a nice, good stew. Mm-hmm. You want a few bops in there.
It's like you got to eat a certain amount of rocks, but do you want all your rocks in one soup?
Rocks?
Yeah. Those would be like bops, kind of like.
Or you could just add food. People don't eat rocks, Artosis.
What?
Artosis at home eating guys. Artosis eats rocks. How embarrassing.
Oh my
I
God.
was thinking it's like you want your bops are kind of like the veggies in the stew, you know.
Yeah.
But your macro games are like some of the meat in the stew, or the fish in the stew, you know. You're like,
Huh.
okay, this is what StarCraft. You know, you get a good meat stew. It's like, all right, well, this is, you know.
But
here's
what
the
if it's
pork,
like
or here's the fish?
Some stews really revolve around the veggies in them. Now, I know technically mushroom is a fungus, but like mushrooms in stew. Oh my God.
Mushrooms are excellent in stew, and
Yeah,
I'll
they
tell you
are.
what,
Yeah,
those
they
are
those wouldn't be bops.
those are timing attacks. The
Oh,
mushrooms
okay.
in the stew, where you're like,
Ooh,
ooh,
yeah.
look at that here,
Okay,
because
okay.
you know, yeah.
I got you. Okay, I can be on board with this now.
Are we good?
Yeah.
And then the crazy strat that usually happens once every GSL day is like the nice drink you pair with it.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's a red wine if it's a beef stew.
Maybe it's a balanced wine if you're a Zerg player.
Very good, Artosis. Took me a minute. I was like, I don't think that's a type of wine. Oh.
Okay, so looks like a very similar opening from Stats. Since it didn't really get too spoiled what he did due to the Baneling attack, maybe he's just going to do it again. I'd love to see that Baneling all in again, Tasteless.
He's like, I saw Tage do this and it didn't work, so I thought I'd try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Same
but
all in
he
3
lost
games in a row.
with that, man.
Yeah, but I'm better, so,
Yeah.
you know?
Different matchup, bro.
Different matchup, different races.
That'd be so funny if Solar did the same thing.
Just 3 Baneling busts in a row.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
It's
guys.
only 2 because
you
it
can be
never
pro
works.
gamers too.
Yeah. What time is it today? I feel like we've been moving along much faster than normal. We started at 1. It's 2:50 right now. That's crazy. We've been on for under 2 hours.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Wow. Normally a GSL day is about 4 hours, but I feel like I'm just now warmed up.
Yeah.
You know? Usually it's about the first hour.
Hey, we could get some long ones now. Who knows? Maybe this
Please.
turns into the best series we've ever seen. But since it's opening up with Glaive to Depths, I'm thinking probably not.
Most likely not.
Here comes the Prism. A couple more gates about to finish up.
16 lings being produced here. The Roach Warren is nearing completion. We could probably suspect that the, depending on where the adept positions are, the Zerg can hold this. But, you know, Protoss players are pretty crafty with how they fork out the glaives.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or the shades, excuse me, after glaives is done.
If you make a mistake, you're going to have a very hard time then. Okay, let's see. The Queen's just fighting kind of alone right now.
Cancels that shade. I thought he might have actually
That one
stuck
felt
with
like
it.
he might have been able to take it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
I guess if it doesn't work, then you've just thrown this away.
yeah, if you lose your adepts, then you're generally going to lose the game. They have to do something.
Nice
Or stay alive.
spread of damage here. Does not... I don't think he's killed a queen over there in that last
No,
attack.
I don't believe he killed any, but he did get rid of a bunch of the transfusion energy, so maybe next time. Adding 4 more adepts to the fray.
Okay, even the Spore does not go down here. Okay, so that's the time he decides to commit. And the Lings actually had some decent surface area, but that seems to be slowing down here.
He's not really getting anything done. He's killing off a bunch of the Lings, sure. But just 4 adepts left over. His army is very, very small right now.
I think that the attack has, for the most part, not succeeded, Artosis.
Yeah, he traded 12 adepts for 37 Lings, so we know that that's not a very good trade. All right, gets a creep tumor. I mean, that's something.
The third's being taken now. We do have Immortals coming out here. I don't think we're going to have another serious push here from the Protoss. I don't think you could, right? I mean, he's lost the bulk of his army. Not that adepts scale that well, but, you know.
Well, the threat of them going in forces your opponent to continue to make units and be careful about drones. And then, you know, just having some units is probably a good thing. Here, you know, Stats is kind of at the whim of Solar.
Very true.
Solar gets to decide how this game goes. Like, do we drone? Do we make units and go? There are a lot of roaches being made. I'll tell you that.
I tell you.
I tell you, Tasteless. I tell you what. 8
Tell
roaches.
you what.
in that production tab. 4 Overlords.
I don't know. I'm not feeling like this is going to be great here for stats. But
Well, he's
I don't
got
know,
4 Sentries, 3 Immortals.
Yeah.
It is a lot of roaches that are being made, but, you know.
If I'm seeing this correctly, he's just going to attack back over here. He's not going to take a 4th and try to hold off another attack.
Yeah,
it seems like Solar, once again,
he is
says
definitely
it's
attacking.
my turn, and let me just attack into you and make this work. Now, as Stats is moving out, and this appears to almost be set up for a possible push. Well, I say that he's turning around. If the push does come, one of the easiest ways to follow the push, and if it's going to be okay for Protoss, is are the Immortals staying alive, and then has the Warp Prism been picked off? Because if the Ravagers can target the Warp Prism and pick it off, the push is basically over.
Well, Solar is coming up with the push right now. He's going to bring the fight to Stats, which is really important. If Stats holds this, he's going to be in actually very good position.
Yeah. And I feel like, Solar, this is a way to win, but if he loses this, he's kind of doing it to himself,
Yeah, absolutely. And Stats, I mean, he's actually built himself a very solid economy. He's got more workers than Solar has right now. He's got his Robotech out. He's continuing his upgrades. If he can hold, this is great. That is a lot of units coming in.
Okay. Nice force field so far, forcing a lot of those roaches to run around. All the Immortals still perfectly fine as far as HP goes. The Warp Prism continuing to juggle and juggle.
Backs up into so many shield batteries right now.
Some of those biles, though, connecting with the army. Actually, a lot of these biles connecting.
There's like 5 shield batteries over there. One over here as well. Has a couple zealots in that wall. Oh, no, those are actually changelings. Kind of funny. But the Immortals haven't died. The Ravager count is growing, which gives some staying power to this push. But right now, I mean, it feels like Stats is holding.
This angle that Stats is at, it's funny. Most of the time we see players easily avoid, oh, how funny is transfer probes in this. We see them easily avoid biles, but there's actually not a lot of surface area. This chasm on the center right makes it hard to move anything back. And
he did eat a lot of biles that last time.
Yeah. Queens are turning around, signifying that the rush is close to ending here. And now we see that's happening. He's going to back up. Is he going to try to go around to the bottom, though? Yes, he will. I suppose it's hard to argue why you wouldn't want to attack this. It's just free structures and free production.
Yeah, Manon. Okay, the Immortal Warp Prism coming out, 2 microbit. A couple more gates to fall, so it's 3 gates that have fallen recently. You see Stats' minerals and gas starting to peak a little bit.
Oh, damn. Again, more biles connecting, unpowering that 1 gate.
Yeah, the biles are definitely doing work. If he can keep them back and get this Baneling speed done with this +1 melee, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, coming forward now. And I don't know that he can get in there. I mean, keep in mind, guys, we have Ravagers, which don't really scale that well if we go into a super late game. I mean, Protoss gets a lot more, how do I say this? The unit composition builds off of itself. Now we have Templars being added in. Roach Ravager is strong for a very specific moment in the game, and that's why we saw Stats with far inferior supply also hunkered down in a defensive position, ready to try to hold that off.
I think this is why he's getting into the Banelings, right?
Yeah, I think so.
His Roaches definitely aren't going to be worth anything at this point, but adding a bunch of Banelings and Lings in with those Ravagers, it gives you a lot more flexibility, right? The Lings can kind of block things. If stuff is too clumped up, the Banelings are really going to punish. Obviously, the Bile's still really reasonable. Okay, Baneling speed is just about to finish here. Stats adding in quite a few High Templars. It's really important. With the amount of Banelings out here, I feel like he just needs a bunch of Archons. That is so many Ravagers, though, so the Archons actually might fall kind of quickly. Maybe he'll just opt for lots of Side Storm. That's hard, though, because when Speed Banes roll in, are you going to be able to stop them?
Okay, nice storm on those Banes. A lot of them not connecting with their targets. It's key that the storms hit each of the Banes before they're actually able to detonate on a unit. Good safe cancel there at the last second. And now it looks like Solar's going to rotate over here again to this wall of gateways. But this will allow Stats to come down here and maybe try to pick a fight right over in this ramp that acts as a bit of a bottleneck. Zealous now coming down here too.
Love some of these bios, forcing Stats to break off the chase. We have a Spire on the way. That is kind of an interesting choice there. I wonder if he's aiming for Broodlords to help counter this composition. I think that would be totally fine. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity for Mutas to do anything, though.
It would seem like we're too far into this game for Mutas to be good. You know, I mean, you can just have the Stalkers help defend that. He's got Storm and everything else. But now it's Stats' turn. Stats he's getting to get to play the game that he often gets to win in.
Let's see if he can break through here. There's not that many Banelings left over. I think that was really the strength of this army. Oh man, those Archons really absorbing a lot up at the top. The Banelings try to get to the high tumblers. They don't quite get there.
Great swarms there on those Ravagers. And when it's just Ravagers remaining, you know, that's when things are getting pretty low as far as healthy count here for the Zerg. And for the Blink forward here, just gunning down these Ravagers. I think Stats might have done it. He's coming in, drones are pulled. A good dodge there on the Biles as the last few Ravagers are shot down.
Yeah, Stats is doing a great job there. That is it. And Stats going to advance to that final match with the 2-0 over Solar. Solar having a very disappointing day.
Yeah, this was a rough one for Solar. I would say, actually, this has probably been one of his, at least for the way that each game went, probably his worst day I can remember.
Yeah, it felt like that. It did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tough group and all, too, but
he got to play one game that looked remotely normal.
Yeah,
and then Stats outplayed him. Yeah, and the rest of them it was.
It's true. It's true.
His strategies failed, or his opponent's strategy got to activate itself before he was ready.
Well, I think when you do end up killing the Adepts as efficiently as he did, which I think he did pretty well, like he didn't lose drones. I think a counterattack is not the worst idea, but he is playing against like kind of the defensive god of Protoss, and Stats was very smart. He made like 5 extra shield batteries before that attack hit. That makes it pretty hard to break.
We're going to go to a short break. We come back, our final best of 3 in Group B of the GSL Code S.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
라벨은 까다버리라고 했는데 우리 아빠는 맨날 까먹어요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
취했나?
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터. 울트라 기어로 선명하게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
당신 뭐 핫식스 더킹 아세요?
핫식스 뭐요?
핫식스 더킹.
이거 정말로 맛있는데
제가 오늘 핫식스 더킹 먹었기면 당신은 저한테 빨릴 거예요. 아세요?
이런 악마의 음료 이걸 빠시다니.
그리고 핫식스 더킹 그 빨간 제품 있거든요. 열대 과일 맛이 나요. 열대 과일 맛.
자신 있으세요?
라벨 떼고 버려야 되는 건 알죠? 근데 귀찮아서 잘 안 해요.
라벨을 떼지 않아도 오키. 라벨을 없앤 아이시스 8.0 에코. 따는 순간 분리배출까지. 지구에게 오키, 모두에게 에코. 라벨이 없는 아이시스 8.0 에코.
He's done it now 4 times in a row. He is your GSL Codes champion. He has done it! 뜨거운 박수로 결승전 대결을 시작하겠습니다.
라운드 오브 60 TY 전태양 솔라 강민수 스태츠 김대영 큐어 김도우 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
Ooh, what is this song we're playing?
This is a remix of some Star Wars music.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good call. This is a good remix, too.
Oh, this is better than the last 3 Star Wars movies. This
Yeah,
song.
in every way.
Yeah, I bet it didn't cost as much, though.
Yeah. Now, we've got a match, and I think this will be, dare I say, not a bop.
You dare not say.
Dare I say.
Tasteless.
Yeah.
it's a day of bops.
Is it Bop Day? Is it International Bop Day?
Yeah.
Or at least Bop Awareness Day?
Well,
guys,
yesterday should have been Bop Awareness Day to prepare us for this.
Yeah, this is
Oh, Obsidian is set too?
What?
Oh my god.
Turns out that's one of our maps. We almost forgot about it.
I can't believe we're gonna see it so early in the tournament.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, it's International Bop Day. Get out there, remind people that bops do happen.
Yeah.
And let's see if this is going to be in the spirit of Bop Day or if we'll actually have a close and long series. This is our last series of the night. Stats versus TY.
퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영. TY 전태양.
Okay. Now, in what way is one of these players going to get popped? That's what we have to figure out.
Yeah, that's the hardest
We don't
part.
have long. The game is almost over.
So can you tell me what it's like to be an esports caster? Oh, well, sure. I mean, probably the hardest part about being an esports caster is trying to figure out when and where the bop is going to occur. If and will it will happen. And then, how do I, translate that to the viewers? Have a good time.
Like, whoa, he's dead. Look at that.
So it's Nexus right away. Everything looking pretty normal.
Reactor first, look at that.
Trying
See
to
that
just
very often.
get in the way of this CC.
All right. We'll see Stats as tech in a moment here. I feel like Stats should all in a game. I'm not sure which one, but he's a bit predictable and everyone knows that, especially for PvT.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in this matchup, he's sort of known for...
I feel like you want to mix in an all-in.
It seems like whenever people know that you are your playstyle and your playstyle is reactive, it seems like that puts you at a great weakness, even though he handles it very, very well. A lot of people know partying is going to do crazy stuff, but the thing is, you don't know what crazy thing it's going to be, so you have to be ready for everything.
Yeah. And by the way, the stats there just showed in Legacy of the Void, the stats is 8 and 12 or 8 and 16 against TY. Now I forget. But anyways, you're quite right. Like, I think there's a general feeling that aggressive play is better for tournaments. Putting the pressure on your opponent and forcing them to make errors rather than trying to correctly react to everything.
Well, it seems like to correctly react to everything in tournaments in StarCraft 2 is pretty hard. I mean, things happen so quickly. We've had moments where, a player literally has to handle a situation perfectly. Wow, loses the adept. Has to handle the situation perfectly in a 3-second time period.
Yeah.
Or the game's over. And there's so many different types of attacks like that can come in, and it's hard. It's hard to fight.
For sure. Okay, so Phoenix is coming. 3 gates on the way. Only 1 up right now. He has a couple of depths here. Here comes the attack. Uh-oh.
Now remember, we saw that one adept get shot down earlier. Now it's a second adept that's been killed off.
God.
And this adept is just going to shade further into the corner and probably get picked off. Oh my God.
So it looks like the bop was going to go TY's way.
Yeah. If this was a meal, it'd be
so much damage.
If this is a meal, it'd be a beeping bop.
But this was a beating of a bop. Now that's an overlay.
That is exactly the way we wanted it to look when we made the show. Looking at him with 3-eyed robot glasses.
Okay, so continuing the trend, Obsidian, our next map. This is our 4-player map. I'm very excited to see it finally.
4.
That's right. Conventional wisdom. Who ever heard of that?
Why not just make it an 8-player map?
Huh? Well, that'd probably be even worse, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Why not just make the map so large
map. Yeah.
that the right play is to like tech up immediately, like take 3 bases and go carrier.
Yeah.
Like just the
And
biggest
all the
map.
games are 3 hours, and there's at least one person watches this right now. Like, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Kidding me?
Uh-oh. Those are the bop horns. Every game is just gonna be a bop. Come on, Stats. You have to counter his bop with a bop of your own. Can he do it? Let's go to our new map, Obsidian.
전투 준비 완료. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영. TY 전태양.
All right. What do these guys have prepared for this map? It's the first time we've seen this played professionally. Oh, I like that. I like how there's like, it's a glass floor where you're supposed to expand to.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit scary.
You get a little bit of vertigo when you go over there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna fall through.
Yeah. You take a picture of yourself on it.
Don't worry, that's space glass. You can put buildings on there.
Space glass.
Are we gonna have a long game with these two? I hope so. I really do.
We deserve one.
I feel like we've earned it with all the bops we had.
Yeah. Blocking that Reaper jump point.
Standard even for maps that are not in this one. And again, a lot of the same, I guess, ideas we have here from Stats in the opening. Just it looks to be an expand with maybe some kind of pressure rule.
Look at just how big this map is.
It's huge.
Look at the mini map and watch like the probe and the SCV walking on it. This is a very big map. I did not realize just how large it was. Like, I know it's a 4-player map, but
it actually on the mini map looks like it'd be smaller.
Yeah, it kind of did.
There's a certain way the details are set up, but yeah, it's in fact quite huge.
Yeah, it's actually bigger than I thought.
Now, we have seen nowadays a lot of times the Protoss tries to get a third a little bit more quickly than Terran. I'm not sure if it's going to be the case on this map, or love to see. Again, not only is this map new, but it's 4 players, so there's a lot more going on here.
Oh, yeah.
That does change the way that early game is handled, and you know,
yeah.
On one-on-one maps, it's oh, is that a third CC, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
One-on-one maps, you know, you at least, if you need to scout them, you can, and
Yeah.
even if you can't get in there, you confirm certain other things. Here, there's a lot of other different techs that could be happening. Sometimes you just find them extremely late.
Yeah, and I want to mention, especially in these spots on such a big map, it's cross spawns. So TY doesn't really have any potential kill stats early on. He's going to have to win a game through grinding. Whereas there is some potential use for Protoss because of the warping mechanic.
Right.
To potentially do something. But whenever we've seen TVPs on giant 4-player maps, cross spawns, what generally happens is, like, first off, it's a map where you can see things like hidden expansions because there's just so many, they're so far away from everything. But specifically with Terran, it's like you can't ever really do an attack because by the time it gets there, because you have to actually walk there, even if you like boost your medevacs, by the time you get there, Protoss just, they have additional warpins, you know?
Right.
And so they have more units, and the normal math of a map generally won't work on attacks.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Although, you know, both Protoss and Terran operationally, in some ways, they can be similar. Certainly, Terran does not have any real way to reinforce it the insane way that Protoss does in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, and, you know, Zergs with Nidus are kind of another thing like that, where it's like, yeah, both these
That's
races
a pretty
can
incredible
kind of get their units across the map immediately.
Terran
cannot.
Yeah, Terran doesn't have any kind of accelerant like that, like a War Prism or a Nidus that just...
Did you know?
Yeah.
that originally, when they were planning out this game, they were thinking of putting in a mechanic where you could load Marines into like a drop-down pod and drop it anywhere on the map.
Oh, I did not know about that.
Yeah.
I did see that pylons could move. That was one of the funny ones.
Cannons.
Sorry, cannons could move.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, Tasis is going to be a pro gamer for sure.
Watch out.
But yeah, I remember when I followed all the updates when they were talking about StarCraft 2 and stuff. I always thought that was a sick idea of like loading up Marines and then just dropping off somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's probably a feature that's you want to approach with caution. I mean, like for instance, cannons moving, it's like, oh god, you know what direction this game can take now.
Haas World Champ.
Yeah.
Until parting comes along. And it's just cannons moving into each other.
Yeah.
It's like so stupid.
People laugh about the days when people made units that costed supply when you could have just been making buildings that move.
Yeah. Right, so we have Cloak coming up here. Stats just taking his third Nexus, getting a Forge going. He can of course play slightly more greedy here. Oh, he's going mech.
Wow, okay.
I think that that's really not a bad idea because you're never going to die. In fact, I think it's very likely we're going to have a very long game, and I think it's also reasonably likely that we're going to see BCs this game.
Well, we definitely got time for it. It's been our shortest day so far this season.
Yeah.
If things keep following the pattern they've been in.
I had a day off that was longer than today.
Templar Archives coming here.
Ooh, Banshee speed coming up. I
Yeah,
like it. I
makes
like how
sense.
TY is approaching
He's
this.
investing in stuff that you can do. You can invest in because you're not going to be punished that early, unless we see something crazy from stats.
Well, he's adding a ton of gates right now, right? 5 gates coming up. Charge +1. Getting that Templar Archives. I think that this is a reasonable way to play for sure. Okay, here comes the Observer. Now, this is going to spot that he's up against mech, and we're going to have to see if... Yeah, he's adding even more gates. So there's the potential that stats just goes really hard here, and like we talked about, that is the one way we might see this map finish quickly. And I would say especially against mech, you could see that happen.
Now, that can go one of two ways, though. It could either be the Protoss breaking the Terran, or Terran just shutting down the Protoss, and then Terran continuing to tech up. I mean, we see the double armory. Everything that TY does signals to us the longer the game, the better for him.
Yes,
at least with the tech choice in here.
Now, the Prism's coming up. It doesn't necessarily mean a full-fledged attack.
But it might.
Yeah. I would actually be surprised if Stats does not go across the map and mix something up. He just saw that this is a greedy 3 command into mech. I mean, with Charge +1 and Storm done, there is some potential there, right?
Sure.
By the way, the Banshee speed is still being upgraded. That upgrade takes... It's like the Dark Shrine upgrade.
It takes a long time.
My god, it takes a long time.
But when it's out, I mean, the Banshees are a real threat.
Yeah, no, it's a great upgrade. It's I really like it.
Especially strong on large maps like this.
Now, some people might be wondering why he cloaked there. If there's like a probe or a pylon out or anything, then you won't catch it on the minimap.
Right.
And that's what he's looking for, is just for stats to not expect this to be coming right now.
Yeah, you want to be able to get there way ahead. Start doing damage. Here we go. Flight speed is done.
Now that is 3 extra units that have very high DPS that will not be at home.
Nice sniping on this cannon. Probably going to go to the next target here. Here comes the Protoss army, though, now. Right into where the sensor tower is.
Ooh, good building placement.
Yeah, you cannot attack into that. That's crazy. The Great Wall of TY down there. You can see TY being pretty conservative with the Banshees, actually, just making sure that there's nothing mining there. And look at this expand on the top left.
Yeah.
So smart.
I like it a
The
lot.
map is huge. There's a lot to, you know, a lot to scout here. And so TY will be shooting all his mules down at that upper left base, try to get all the resources there.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. All right, the Banshees all flying home. This is truly unbreakable now with the Banshees at home.
Yeah. Now, it will eventually be time for Terran to push, keep in mind.
Will it?
You think he's going to stay back?
I think he's going to stay back forever, man.
Wow.
Like, oh, he finds the command right away.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to just get so cost efficient, and I actually think there is a really high chance he goes into BCs this game. And I know that it's so early that it's almost stupid to say that, but TY is the best BC player in the world, and you can go BCs in a game like this.
But we just have more gates coming down here now for Stats.
Yeah, I like that Stats' economy's getting big enough that he shouldn't just die.
Right.
You know, because that's, yeah, it's gearing up to be a crazy game, for sure.
A little attack in there, completely obliterated. Nice storm on the Hellbats.
Yeah, I really appreciate seeing the way Stats is playing this as well. We saw, like, for instance, Deer going Colossus tech against Mech. I really like the way Stats plays, I mentioned during that match, that I think going more Storm heavy is definitely a better way to do it.
Okay, a nice little attack in here.
Oh, he's going to get that.
Yeah, I think he'll actually be able to get the CC, or it can be saved. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. He's going to save that CC and actually take out quite a bit of the Protoss' army. 23 SCVs have been killed off, though.
Yeah, I think this was still good for Stats. He's actually started his air upgrades now. Yeah, he lost all of his Zealots, it looks like, and now TY going to move.
Yeah, he's going to try to come in here and attack as quickly as possible. Again, it's a huge map, though. No easy expansion to push. It's kind of crazy. Here comes the attack from behind here again. Great storm drops.
It's a little bit of extra damage right there. Warping in a lot more Zealots at home. You really need to make sure you've dealt with those Hellbats before your Zealots all get in. Okay, gonna go for a little bit of a counter here. He should have a recall.
I think he's going to be willing to just sack that for now and keep the push coming up here. If TY can get into a really good position, I think this might be just an insane amount of damage that he can't really... the Stats might not be able to handle. I mean, this is so many Banshees and tanks. Counterattack isn't really doing that much. Notice he's pushing right up into the main here, too.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Banshees in there. That is going to be very difficult to deal with. Stats making a gigantic army. He's actually having a hard time attacking. He's like attacking things that don't matter with a huge amount of his supply. Well, like maybe this is going to be a Bob Tasteless. Maybe we were wrong.
The problem is, you know, even though they're both dealing damage everywhere, you know, this Protoss army can be stopped by the remaining stuff that's coming out of the factories for TY.
Yeah.
Where I think TY actually could just keep pushing. Look, he's going to smash that Nexus. Does he go to the main or does he go to the other Nexuses? Like this one over here, I don't know, but I think he'll have a better answer and just go with what's going to work here.
Oh my
Great
God.
play.
Yeah, that was very well done. Well, he is whittling it down, right? That is something that we're seeing, but this army is getting wrecked by those Cyclones.
Wow. And this army will clean up the Protoss army and then eventually meet up with the rest of the army. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be able to come through and keep pushing.
Okay, so actually, Stats eliminated. Did he kill 2 command centers? Because he lost 2 Nexuses.
No, he did not kill 2 CCs. There's one in each of the bases. Or maybe he got one that was... Whoa.
That size storm drop. All right, Stats still pushing forward with these Stalkers, but he does not have his Prism anymore.
Right.
So what you see is what you get on this attack.
Yeah, these Stalkers, you know, they do take quite a bit of damage here. They can be blinked, but I think Terran's army might be just a little bit more robust. Where are the tanks? He needs some kind of... There it is. He needs some kind of splash damage here.
Ooh, gonna definitely lose this. No way to save it. Few random remaining tanks up here?
I did not actually realize there were tanks up here. How funny.
Look at High Templar auto attacks try to kill a siege tank. That's hilarious.
Oh, what a weird little fight we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Just tanks fighting Archons. And now this recall is going to bring this back here, so these tanks most certainly are dead.
Okay, hold on. Who's winning right now?
I think Stats might actually be winning now.
Is he?
I don't know. I think so. I really don't know, man. This is a really hard one to call.
It's a very weird game that we're looking at. It's like they both have 3 ground upgrades, plus 3 for Stats, 2-1 for TY.
It does seem like a big reset on the mech is certainly more painful than the reset on the Protoss ground army.
That's a really big point, I think. But I keep seeing him make Archons as well. And I'm trying to think of things that are worse against Cyclone Tank than Archon, and nothing's really coming to mind.
He might
like
have
probes,
just,
maybe. Probes are worse.
He might have enough Stalkers to blink on top, and then the Archons come in and do a little bit more splash and just wins the fight. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I think he's just looking for anything to help tank at this point. Blue Flame Hellion not finding much success. Scanning to see what has gone back up.
How funny that Templar Archives was not killed.
Yeah.
Among all the buildings that were destroyed and how scrappy this game is.
Yeah, that could be a useful one. He's actually made an Oracle, I think, to help catch these Banshees.
This is smart. It's 54 workers to 50, so things are fairly even. But you know, what started out as a huge macro game has kind of become a super scrappy one.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like Protoss is roaming now, ready to take a fight, find any stray expansions. TY continuing to turtle up. Also, with these Banshees out on the map, it's going to be hard for anything new expansion-wise to be acquired here for Protoss.
Yeah, those are very annoying, but I think, again, that's why he's gone for the Oracle and Phoenix. You can kind of tag him and keep up with him a bit.
Right.
We'll see if that works out for him. His army is starting to look really scary. Even though it's similar army supplies and mech is generally pretty efficient, you have to have it set up right. And TY is kind of spread out right now.
Okay, is this a suicide mission by
Oh,
Stats, or
man.
can he actually do it? This is a lot of siege tanks, man. But when the storms come down, that's where we're going to see if he can actually break this.
A lot of stalkers left over. They do end up blinking forward here, but I think TY has enough.
Yeah, I think he just barely has enough. Wow, for a little bit it looked like Stats might break through, but you know, the further the screen pans down, the more tanks you see. And by the way, TY had those tanks really well placed. Just far back enough that you had to chew your way through everything else.
Yeah, and he pulled his Banshees back from the Psy Storms, waited, had that moment to bring them back in. They do have very high DPS.
Wow, Phoenix is coming through here. I guess there really isn't much anti-air. But he takes him out anyways.
Yeah.
Bad idea there by Stats.
I like what he was trying, because he's like, oh, you have almost nothing that shoots up, but Cyclones with their upgrade are pretty darn good against everything.
Well, against two Phoenixes too.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit wasteful right there. It's going to make the Banshees feel a bit more secure.
Well, it's even bases now. It's for mining.
Stats really needs to think about expanding a bit more.
No,
I
he's
think.
taking 12 o'clock now, again.
Yeah. I feel like he needs to expand even again, though. Like, TY, as we scale these two armies up, TY wins.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, like, if you're not going to win with a flood like he's already tried 3 times, you got to get a bigger economy so you can do repeated floods to whittle it down, or you can switch your tech up. All right, not too bad an engagement for Stats for a little bit there, but again, you can see that kind of like over time as TY's unit count gets a bit higher, he's going to have better and better trades against this gateway-based army.
Yeah, exactly. This game has become quite interesting, Artosis.
Yeah.
I'm really digging it.
Thank God we got one, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
It looked like it was going to be a bop for a second there,
I know.
too.
I was like, oh, man.
Wow, the cursed day.
Another CC's taken here. I imagine on both sides the plan is to simply get maxed out and then try to play the game from there.
Oh, but the maxes are such different quality.
Right.
Like the fact that right now the production tab is a bunch of factory units and 1 Phoenix for Stats. It's like, wow.
This is enough Banshees that he could just take this out and then just take out all the workers, and this is going to add up to a lot. A recall comes back here.
All right, good tag. Gonna chase these down now.
Oh, another fight here in the middle.
Yeah, might get a reasonable punish there as well.
Yeah, Phoenixes are fast enough. They can just stalk these Banshees forever. Zealots coming over here to attack this bottom right base. They both managed to get a 5th base up.
Yeah, well, it's about time, I would say.
Yeah. I'm still on the same page as you, though. I feel like if this game goes on for much, much longer, I think TY has a better army.
Yes, absolutely. It should scale just really, really nicely, whereas the thing is, Stats' macro is not really back online. You just see a lot more production going on for TY right now. And the thing is, when you're staying this much in the face of the mech,
oh man, this is a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You know, the Archons do a lot of damage if there's this much behind it. Again, more attacks coming through here. Archon's on the run. It's so much gas when you lose the Archon. It's insane.
And he does want the Archons to fight against those Hellbats.
And because he expanded over here and there was an attack down there which he defended, he can now easily transition and push up over here.
All right, some good Phoenix lifts there, but a lot of tanks being warped in on the bottom there. Maybe his Stalkers can blink on top.
I think
counterattack of the Zealots as well.
I think TY overextended.
Yeah, it seems so.
you have to have a big enough army when you come in for fights like this. GG. All right. Hell yes. Hell yes.
A best of 3 to ruin the day of best of 2s.
The gods of bopping are angry.
Well, hopefully we can get a bop in game 3
Yeah.
to fix that
To
up.
appease their rage.
That was a cool game though. Yeah, I think TY pushed a little bit too aggressively there. When he saw the recall as well, I think the Banshees probably should have just turned around at that moment.
I think so.
So I think that's definitely a part of it. Those Banshees are really expensive. They're an important part of your army, whether they're harassing or not.
You hear that music?
Yeah?
It's the music of the Bop gods. Hear how angry they are?
They're so
Where's
furious.
our Bop? It is Bop Day. We are angry.
We only asked for
will
one
Bop
day.
you and your family.
Okay.
As they're doing that,
What's TY
all
doing?
over the world.
He's checking the floor.
He's checking the floor. Is he? What is he doing? He's going to the bathroom.
Okay.
I really got to go to the bathroom.
That brings us to game number 3, the first game number 3 of the day. The last day we had was all game 3s until the last one it was game 2. So now we have that reverse. We have the yin and yang.
That's right.
There we are. Okay, Internal Empire. Oh, we could have a nice long game there. That's possible.
I hope so. If you guys are just now
Generally
joining
have
us,
good macro games there.
Almost all of our games have been one-sided and short.
Yeah. That was maybe we've had 2 really good games and one okay-ish.
I mean, it's interesting to see builds interact, and sometimes someone just gets run over, but to have a over 50% bop rate is not usual. It's not common.
No. All right, so what do you think, Tasteless? Who takes it based on what you've seen?
TY.
Yeah, I think TY.
I think TY does.
Yeah.
Stats looks really good, but I think TY looks a little bit better. I think TVP on maps that big, like Obsidian, are pretty... I think they can be hard for the Terran to end.
Yeah, for sure it is.
I think if you're in closer spots there, it's a little bit different. But having that long of a travel distance, I mean, he did choose to go mech as well, but even with Bio, I don't feel like...
Well,
we talked about the accelerant of the Nidus network or warping Protoss units in anywhere on the map where you have power. That gives you a lot of ability to close quickly when you have the lead. Terran, while medevacs are fast and Terran units in general are pretty nimble, it's incomparable to a Nidus network or a War Prism, which matters on a huge map.
It matters on any map, but especially on a huge map. And also, let's not forget, like that one big attack that TY did, that could have been game-ending, but again, the warp-in mechanic allows Stats to warp in all his units at a side base,
right,
so that he can actually still fight. If he's having to make them out of gateways in his main,
we are ready for Game 3 now. We're going to hop into this. The winner goes on to the round of 8 of the GSL Code S. Let's go.
전투 준비 완료. 아프리카 프렉스 스태츠 김대영. TY 전태양.
kind of a funny-looking face on TY there.
3 letters.
Yeah?
B.
Yeah?
O.
Yeah?
P.
That's how you spell bop?
Yes.
I thought it was B-A-B.
BAP. Yeah, it's a BAP. That was that's young Artos is how he would say it.
Yeah, that's true.
You had a strong Boston accent when you were younger.
I call it strong, but
huh?
Yeah. Northeast.
Boston. We're bapping nids.
That's not what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. It's what you sound like. That's what you sound like to everybody right now.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Well, we're getting some good games, though, that last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what we get here on this map.
I want
This
the
map
mech
actually
again.
has some long games. So.
Yeah, no, we normally get long games here. This one doesn't have as many one-sided quick games. I would like to see the mech again. TY has been doing it a lot against Protoss lately. I think this is a fine map. There's really... You can kind of block off the entry point that comes up the ramp next to the rocks towards your natural and make them just come mostly through the third, which makes it very defendable. Yeah, I would really like to see it. It's also a very big map. Not as big as the last map, Obsidian, but, well, nothing's as big as that map. That map's 4 of this map almost.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how big it is.
By the way, I always thought that would be a fun map, is to have a 4-player map and then just copy it 4 times and put 1 in each corner, and that's your map.
Oh,
like
you
4...
would mush them together?
Yeah, imagine like 4 Eternal Empires. No, well, that one doesn't count. Like 4 Lost Temples, and they're everywhere, right? It's like top left is a Lost Temple, top right's a Lost Temple, bottom right, bottom left. What kind of crazy game would you get there?
Oh, I don't know, a long, painful one, I think.
Yeah, really painful and really long.
Yeah.
Ooh. Where would you put your proxies?
I don't know.
In the bottom right Lost Temple?
You know, the real metagame there would be to just pick one of the 3 bases.
Yeah.
And just like proxy there, and if you get it, it's like you've won no matter what.
Or just make like 3 hatches before pool and like just expand once to each map. Just
We're ready for that new meta in the future.
I am so ready for that. I want it.
Where in the future game developers are like, I want to make an RTS, but I want to take what already exists in RTS and make it worse. What do you say?
That sounds like game development to me.
Yeah, that's most games.
That's most games. You're right.
It's true.
Taking RTS elements and making them worse. That has actually been the history of esports.
Yes.
We started with StarCraft, and where are we now? I mean, God. Look at all these things. It's like, well, we went from like these huge, beautiful fights with giant armies, and now everyone micros one little hero around. He runs back and forth and hits computer things, and it's like, wow, that's super sick.
You're talking about MOBAs.
Am I? Is that what they're called?
MOBOPs.
MOBOPs.
Yeah. I have always thought about this, though, because there is a thing in game development where people are like, how do we make RTS just more accessible? And I'm like, it's the least accessible game there is. It's the hardest genre.
Yeah, you already made it more accessible.
How do we make UFC accessible? I'm like, well, it's cage fighting, so almost nobody can or will do it. That's why everybody watches it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I want a cage fight with my friend, and we want to have our own special cage fight with our own rules. I'm like, okay, go with your imaginary friends and have that, but we already have this thing here now.
That's a really, I like what you're saying.
You can't have the most competitive, complex game ever and then be like, well, how do we make it for everybody? I'm like, well, then it's not the most competitive, hardcore thing ever.
Yeah, that's true. It's so true, Tasteless. It's
really,
guys
that go rock climbing up the sides of mountains with no gear. It's like, well, I want to do that too, but I don't want to fall and die. It's like, okay.
That's a different thing you want to do.
Yeah, then you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Okay, we got a tank push coming. That's really well said, though, Tasteless.
Thank you.
Cheers to you.
I feel strongly about this.
Yeah.
Watch this. A scan! Oh,
no point.
TY. Oh, I guess that's right.
You're
There's
going
no
for the
point.
kill, man.
He's so good. He's like, I don't care.
Get that third TY.
He's like, you can't spell scan with the 3 letters B-A-B. I like that it's a BAP now and not a BOP.
All right, look at this. The mine drop while he's engaging. Oh, my God. Stats in some trouble. 5 probes going down. Some good micro, though, over here.
I think Stats' micro might actually work, but is there too much damage being dealt at home? Oh, Splash Damage doesn't care about your micro. Doesn't care about your micro. Doesn't.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, Tasteless.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look at this. Now the Liberator getting his damage in.
Bop. Oh.
Oh, my God. Just everywhere.
Oh.
Just let it hit.
Bop.
So many probes have gone down. During this, he made his 3rd command. Liberator waits.
46 workers to 46 workers. Funny to see that it's even after that. Oh my God.
That's very good for Terran, though, if you're on even workers at this point in the game.
He's going to lose this.
It was bait, Tasteless. He wanted the Stalkers on the right side.
It's all part of his plan. Well, I think Stas has handled this pretty well. but TY is still basically fine.
Did you see that, Tasteless?
I did.
Where he started to go to his third, then he pulled away. That is beautiful. 'Cause that was like the one thing where Stats maybe be able to do something. Now what are those stalkers doing? Just chilling? Just hanging out of that third?
They're lost. They ran away from home.
They better run back to him because TY is going to come take that third soon.
Before the sun sets. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, there's nothing else these stalkers can do, right? He's going to have to sit him back.
Well, the tank's in siege mode. They're stalling out the third, so they are actually very nice what they're doing. But TY eventually is going to have that critical mass, move down, push him out, take the third.
Okay, the Stalkers are doing a good job kiting, but got to be careful. Stalkers are the most brittle units Protoss have, especially in this matchup. They take damage very quickly, so you could try to blink, but keep in mind any damage on the hull is permanent. So the third is going to be secured now, and now there's stim available, so you can really pursue the Stalkers if you want.
It's trying to get a little bit of damage in there, picks off a unit or two, has to back up. Looks like TY wants to go elsewhere.
Concussive Shells is finishing up here too. Is he going to try to intercept this?
Well, he doesn't know it's there, so he intercepts in a manner of speaking.
Yeah. Or he gets intercepted, I guess.
He stepped into traffic there. Lost some stalkers. Oh, God. Again. Surely he's not still there. Oh, but he is.
Best casting ever.
Oh,
Artosis turns the page of his book he's reading with a candlelight next to him.
We'll find out in the next chapter if TY was still there.
Chapter 4. Okay, so there's some Templars here. I mean, he might... Oh, I'm sorry, Storm's not finished yet. Oh, that's really bad.
That is bad news.
I was going to say he would have two
Look,
Storms.
He's bluffing with that Templar.
Yeah.
You see that?
He's like, watch out, bro.
I might storm you.
Yeah, I might storm you. I don't know that he has enough to break this.
Oh, he disables the prism, so not all the storms can come out.
Yeah, it's actually huge.
A couple do hit, though.
I think the reinforcements might be too much, though.
He's got a medevac full of Marines right now, by the way.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't noticed that. But
That's
I'm
actually a big deal.
Yeah, well, he's going to notice that and unload that.
Is he?
Or not.
Oh,
He's doing it.
Okay. Well, even more units here now. Stats. That's it. TY going to go ahead and advance with the 2-1 over Stats.
Bop, 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 bop.
TY in another round of 8. This guy's the round of 8 king. Or maybe the round of 8 prisoner.
Wow.
Maybe he doesn't want to go to the round of 8 anymore.
We should call him Dr. Octopus.
That's what we should call him.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
Tasteless.
My work here is done. I'll see you later. We're going to have an interview. And, yeah. Watch.
Yeah.
You think I'm lying? You think I don't know what's going on?
No interview. I just heard.
Watch this.
The final winner moving out of the Group B is TY. Congratulations. Thank you.
먼저 2연속
First of all,
8강입니다. 소감부터
it's your
들어볼게요.
second consecutive round of 8. How do you feel? I think I have been always steady with the round of 8.
이번 8강은 좀 더 다르게 높이 가고 싶습니다.
So this round of 8, I want to reach further.
최종전에서 양방향 멀티태스킹으로
In the final match, you showed phenomenal multitasking skills to get you the win.
네네, 메카닉에 대한 자신감이 좀 있었는데
So I have confidence in my mechanics.
어느 정도 해법을 찾고 나와서 역전패를
And
당한 것
Stats
같고
actually, I think he had the counter strategies
이 경기를 지금 좀
to cope with
충격이
it.
컸었는데 이렇게
And
한 경기 잘 풀려서
honestly,
다행인 것
my second game was a bit of a shock to me.
승자전 진출도 좀 생각을 하시고 오셨을 것
Did you actually
같습니다.
come here
인간
thinking that you would play Stats in the final match?
앞섰던 상대라 자신도 있으셨을 것 같은데요.
So were you
조금
confident
방심을 했던 걸까요?
going up against Stats?
아니,
And were you a little worried?
도기가 워낙에 잘하는 친구라서
I mean, Cure is really good.
질 수도 있겠다는 생각을
And I
하고 있었고
had belief that I might lose against him.
예전에 김도기 아니라는 생각을 했어요.
And I realized that he's not the Cure I used to know before.
자, 그래도 저그전에서만큼은 본인이
In the match
약속했던
against
대로
Zerg,
그 약속을 지켜서 기분이
You
좋으실 것
kept your promise
같습니다.
by defeating Solar 2-0.
제대로 꽂아주셨어요.
And you definitely gave him a good birthday present.
상당히 열심히 준비해 오신 것 같은데요.
So it feels like you
사실
really
오늘
prepare hard
저그전
for the
위주로
TVD
경기를
matchup.
해서 조1
Oh yes, that's right.
이기고 그 기세를 타서 조 1등을
I beat Solar and I tried to carry the momentum to advance as first place. And I was a little worried in the final match, but I think I was pretty fortunate overall.
본진으로 다 날려서 이렇게 공격하는 건 저도 처음 봤거든요.
And we saw your aggressive plays today, TY. So what was that about?
제가 해설자를 병행하면서
Well, you know, as I do casting and play the games,
저그를 플레이를 하는데
I play Protoss and Zergs often on stream.
이거 나중에 한번 써보면 좋겠다 싶어서 사용했습니다.
And I think that helped me build a better strategy.
공이 있었네요. 자, 2세트는 심리전에서도 승리를 거뒀었죠.
Okay, let's talk about the second match.
해병으로 막았습니다. 강민수 선수의 그런 일종의 발끈성 올인 러시를 좀 예상하고
So did you
계셨나요?
expect the solar all-in rush?
아니요, 골든월 맵 자체가 워낙 그런 변수.
I mean, Golden Wall
많이
is a map that has a lot of variables.
또 사신으로 계속 어떻게든 언덕 올라가려고 하는데 저글링으로
And I tried to go up the ramp with my Reaper, and I saw him trying really hard to fend it off.
예감은 하고 있었어요.
So I did expect it a bit.
8강 상대는 이제 A조 1위 박명우 선수입니다.
And your next opponent in the round of 8 is Dark.
기다리고 있는데 백동준 선수. 혹시 박명우 선수라서 좀 아쉬우세요?
So are you a little disappointed that your opponent is Dark?
제가 1등으로 올라가고 대여병이랑 같이 올라가고 싶었는데
I actually expected myself to advance in first place and stat second place, so I'm a little disappointed, and I'm actually quite weak against Dark,
저한테 보여줬던 것처럼
so I'm a little worried.
잘 판짜기를 하고 또
So I hope I can build some good strategies
최대한 멋있게 한번 싸워보겠습니다.
and try to have a good battle with him.
기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 다시 한번 진출 축하드립니다.
Once again, congratulations, TY. Thank you.
자, 이렇게 2위 진출자 전태양 선수
Thank you, Andy.
만나봤는데요. 오늘 경기 최종 정리
Well,
확인해
guys,
보시죠.
happy Bop Day.
Yep. May 9th, Bop Day. It was not the best day of GSL this season, that is for sure. Had a couple good games in there. TY Cure game 1 was good. That mech game was very weird, but I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. Look, guys, we have days like this, and then we have days that completely and totally kick ass. And honestly, it wasn't really that bad. It's just some oddly short games. For the round of 8, Dark versus TY, as we heard in the interview, that's going to be a crazy match. And then Deer versus Cure, I think that should be a lot of fun, too.
That's going to give us a very interesting player in the top 4. You look at Dark, TY, you're like, yeah, they could both be in the top 4. Absolutely, that's like a normal thing. But Deer and Cure, that kind of eludes them most of the time. So that's a fun matchup. I'm excited to see that one. And obviously, TY Dark's going to be amazing.
That's right. As always, we're going to be back on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. KST, and then the next Saturday, 1 p.m. KST.
And then we'll be into that round of 8. Of course, our next group, Group C, going to be a lot of fun. Trap, Bunny, Party, Soup.
Right on beat with the music, Artosis. Very good. Yeah, guys, I think it was a shorter day than normal. Yes, it was.
All
right. Sorry about that, but that's just the way StarCraft is. Sometimes the games are epic and long. Sometimes they're short and quick.
Yeah.
And
this was a
Bopalicious.
short and quick one. I think Group C is going to be some quick games too, I think, because Parting's in there.
Could be, yeah.
But that's going to make it very interesting as well. Can't wait to see if Bunny can actually make any waves in this group, because I don't feel like he's going to. It's the two highest win rates in PvT and Sue.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do as Bunny here?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. He's looked pretty good, though, so far this season.
Yeah, he did. He looked good. Except when that Nexus got him.
That was him taking one for the team. That was for StarCraft. All
if
over
that
the
didn't
place.
work, then
we were talking about that, though, where it's like, you don't want to be the guy on the receiving end of this strategy.
Yeah.
Because it's already scary and confusing. It's already SOS, but then it's one of those things that just looks funny to lose to.
Yeah, I had that at the very beginning of Wings of Liberty when I lost to a Mothership Rush. I didn't even know what the unit was.
Oh, yeah,
they flew my base
I
and
remember
killed
this,
me. The YouTube video got like 1 million views or something.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God. So I get it.
Yeah, it hurts. Guys, that's all the time we have today. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands, wearing a mask. We love you. We will see you on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. KST. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.